And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Cal-Sioux Stadium here at Del City as we get ready for an important district opener tonight between the Choctaw Yellow Jackets and the Del City Eagles. I'm Steve Marshall. Dylan Rivera is alongside as we get ready. The weather looks to be cooperating a little bit. It has poured all day long. It has let up some, and probably we'll get some rain during the game off and on. Hopefully not so much. But again, we got a great matchup for you here tonight. Choctaw and Del City, and even though it is the opener of district play, Dylan, pretty important game.
Yeah, absolutely. In this district, it's pretty much a lock that Lawton and Midwest City will get in, and then it's very believable that Stillwater could get a spot as well. So it's going to come down to kind of these two teams almost playing for that last spot. It can be one-on-one, and so tonight you can kind of get a preview of what that will be like and see who might kind of get the heads up headed into playoff action later in the year.
All right, as we said, we are at Del City tonight. Earlier this week, we had an opportunity to visit with their head coach, Mike Dunn. Got a little feeling about his ball club and how his team is playing so far to this point in the season. Joined now by Del City head coach Mike Dunn as we get ready for our contest here this evening against Choctaw. And Coach, your second year at Del City, and you guys are building quite a program here, and everything seems to be falling in place for you. Tell us where you guys are right now.
Well, I think we're at a place now to where, our guys know that it doesn't matter who we play against. We're always going to be in the game just by what we've done as far as our practice habits, work ethic. So I feel like we're in a place finally to where, our guys, we're a 5A football team playing in a 6A world, and our guys aren't blinking an eye right now. And, I just think we're in a place right now to where doesn't matter. We're going to play regardless of the odds, regardless of who it is, what's up against us. We're just going to go out and play and not make excuses and go have fun doing it.
2-1 on the season. Your only loss to your alma mater, Carl Albert. Tough game in overtime. District play starts tonight. Talk about some of the players that people who are watching the game are going to be looking for tonight.
Well, our quarterback and Jeff Foreman, our wide receiver, are obviously a pretty special duo. Last year, quarterback was a sophomore, Jeff was a junior, and they went for 1,183 yards together. Jeff had 1,183. So this year, they've started out fast, and Jeff has over 500 yards already in 3 games. He's got 7 touchdowns receiving. Quinlan's thrown for 8, so it tells you, that duo is pretty dangerous. But 2 special players. We've got all kinds of weapons on the offense, though. Defensively, we've got some guys. We had 6 back in a senior group that's really, really talented, and our defense swarms around and has fun. But I would say those 2 on offense. And then defensively, Greg Wittenberg is one of our senior captains. He's a safety for us, committed to UCO. And then our 2 senior linebackers, Javon West and Jamari Ayers, have been really, really instrumental with, getting us to where we are as a program. And as a defense, we pride ourselves on playing good defense. And so far, we've stopped people running the ball. We've had a little trouble with Carl Albert's throwing game, but other than that, we've played pretty solid defense. So proud of all those guys.
Is that where you feel like you guys need the most improvement, is defending the pass on both sides of the football?
Yeah, probably so. And it hasn't, and honestly, like last week against Bartlesville, we didn't give up a reception until the 3rd quarter in that game. So we've played the pass well. I think they threw for 50 yards. And Bishop McGinnis, they didn't have much success throwing the ball either. I think we had 8 sacks in that game. So we've defended the pass pretty well. Against Carl Albert, we didn't tackle very well. And so it wasn't that we just had people running wide open. I think they caught 1 long pass, then they screened us to death. So, things that we cleaned up in practice, things I felt like we could get better on practice-wise with the way we do things in practice, tackling and things like that. So, I think we're at a place on our defense to where if we'll fly around and we'll run to the football, good things will happen. That's kind of what we preach.
District play opens tonight to take on Choctaw. They have a similar 2-1 record on the season. What do you know about the Jackets?
Well, the Jackets are a tough football team led by a good coach, Jake Corbin. Jake and I have known each other forever, and I know what he brings to the table. And they're preaching a lot of the same things that we preach to our kids too. We're kind of cut from the same cloth, and I know they're going to be well disciplined. They're going to play extremely hard, just like we are. It's as evenly matched of a football game as you're probably going to find out there. So we know that they're going to be ready to play. They're preaching the same things as far as being 1-0 in district and being in the driver's seat to go make the playoffs. This is a big game. And in our district, it's pretty much a playoff game every single week because there's really every team's playing for a playoff spot. So, we know that they're going to come in geared up, ready to play, excited, and we're going to have to match their intensity.
All right, good luck tonight.
I appreciate it.
And there you got an idea of what's going on in tonight's ball game, what's at stake from head coach Mike Dunn of the Del City Eagles. As you can see, we're about ready to kick it off. Perfect timing there. Hope you enjoy our live stream webcast here this evening on your Oklahoma Ford dealers game of the week. Choctaw Yellow Jackets are all set to kick it away. Del City to receive. And we are ready to kick it off here tonight. Another Friday night of high school football in the state of Oklahoma. Del City on the return, bouncing it to the outside, now reversing field and getting it out to close to the 30-yard line. That's number 14. That is Jeff Foreman. That's the young man that we talked about that we'll be seeing a lot of tonight, hopefully for the Del City Eagles.
Yeah, I wrote Jeff Foreman down in my notes as the player to watch tonight. He's definitely the one you want to keep your eyes on. Already 22 catches, 524 yards on the season. That's just through 2 games. So definitely somebody to keep your eyes on for sure.
All right, so we will do that. The quarterback for the Del City Eagles is Quinlan Ganther. He's a junior. Get a good look at the size of the line up front for the Del City Eagles and the Choctaw Yellow Jackets. Both teams coming in with records of 2-1. Keepers all the way. Going to get out across the 32, close to the 33-yard line. Picks up about 3 on the carry. As we look at the schedule to this point in the season for Del City, we talked a little bit about their schedule so far. They knocked off McGinnis in the opening game of the season, 47-7, and then lost to Carl Albert in overtime. Carl Albert got the extra point. Del City decided to go for 2 and try to win it. Was unsuccessful in that try and fell by a score of 32-31. As you see, Ganther once again with the carry, straight quarterback run, first down yardage and then some, all the way out to the 47 as they are very quickly right back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and Ganther's definitely a running quarterback. He can do both with his arm and with his feet. He can create plays. 46 completed passes up to this point and 27 carries. So that kind of shows you how productive he can be with both weapons.
From the 47-yard line, handoff. That's L.J. Brown with the carry. He's going to get across midfield and into Choctaw territory. So the Eagles with the opening possession. Trying to get something going here. Picked up about 5 on that first down carry, makes it 2nd down and 5. Ganther again the straight run. Runs it to the short side of the field, able to find some running room, gets close to first down yardage, and here comes a late flag thrown in there, a little extracurricular going on amongst the players. Del City's players telling their teammates to keep it under control. Apparently this is going to go against Choctaw as the referee on the far side meets with the rest of his crew to decide exactly what happened. I didn't see it exactly, but it looked as though somebody got a little late hit in there, perhaps.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened. I just saw Jeff Foreman coming out of the play with his hands up in the air looking like, well, is that okay, or are we just going to let that go? And just a second later, I see the ref chuck that yellow flag up into the air, so we'll see that call made.
Waiting for the official call here, and it's going to be a personal foul called against Choctaw, so that'll go on the end of the run. Put 15 yards on that. That means they're going to spot the ball all the way down at the Choctaw 30-yard line, 1st and 10 on the opening possession.
One of the things we always talk about early on in the game is the weather and how it affects the game, and today it was very windy and very wet, so we'll see if it improves throughout the night, as it seemed like it stopped. But up to this point, I haven't seen it really slow down that much.
Ganther's going to run a long way just to get back to the line of scrimmage. It looks like a flag did come out there in the backfield, and that would usually portend to be a flag against the offense. Somebody with an illegal block or perhaps a hole. Take a look at the replay here. He ran a long way just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it reminds me of that scramble that Kyler Murray did against FAU in that first game, where it just kind of seemed like he just ran all over the place and then ended up, I want to say, maybe gaining like 10, 15 yards. But it seemed like he ran a mile in the process.
Trying to see there towards the end of the play. Didn't really see any foul from my vantage point, but they called it on the field. And now the ball is back to the 44-yard line, so a 15-yard penalty.
I think they might be saying block in the back.
Right. So they need to get to the 20 for the first down, so they've got a long ways to go as quarterback Quinlan Ganther takes the snap, drops to throw. Good pressure up the middle for the Yellow Jackets. Ganther keeps it, but he's only going to pick up a yard on the play. Good job defensively for the Yellow Jackets. Choctaw on their side of the ledger, they won their opening game in overtime, 35-34, then beat Lawton Eisenhower 35-14 before falling to Putnam North 46-21. So both teams 2-1, obviously 0-0 in district play. This is the opener, and a big one at that, even though it is early in the season. Ganther trouble with the snap. Gathers it in and then bounces it at the feet of the receiver, incomplete, and that'll bring up third and very long.
Yeah, and that one was a broken play from the start with a bad snap, a little low. He's just got to do something with it. Scrambles out of the pocket, got a man on his backside, and just try to hit your best man Foreman there off of the cutback on the curl route, and unable to connect.
You mentioned Foreman. He is their leading receiver with those 22 catches in 3 games, so he's pulling in about 7 catches per ball game, 170 yards per contest. Colin Leisinger is somebody else to keep an eye on. Ganther in trouble once again, throws it, and that's going to be incomplete, and that'll bring up a 4th down situation. Interesting call given the field position for the Eagles, but it looks as though they're going to try and pin Choctaw deep inside their own territory. Line of scrimmage is going to be the 43-yard line in Choctaw territory.
Yeah, both plays it seemed like Ganther just tried to create something with what he was, the hand that he was dealt. Offensive line's got to do a better job of staving off the D-line there so he can get a little bit more time to let that pass go and read the defense. But both plays, not enough time, and just has to figure out something with it.
Snap is back, the kick is away, angled towards the near side of the field. That's going to bounce out of bounds, and it looks as though they're going to spot it at about the 28-yard line, and that's where the Jackets will put it in play. 1st and 10, their first possession of the football game, and Del City moves over now to play on defense. Offensively for the Jackets, their quarterback, as we get all of our papers together and make sure we get all the lineups and rosters all taken care of. Their quarterback on the season has completed about 25 passes on the year and has thrown 2 touchdown passes. High snap, gathers it in. He's going to run the quarterback draw, and that's not going to get anywhere, and another flag comes flying in from the referee. Not usually a good sign if you're the offensive line.
Yeah, 57, Callio Bagby was in the backfield in the blink of an eye. A great job penetrating the offensive line and getting to the quarterback.
So we'll see how they mark this off. They make the discussion there on the field. And it's going to be against Choctaw. The quarterback is Thad Williams. And their primary running back on the season is Corey Williams. So we'll keep an eye on those 2 guys as we move along. 2nd down and long, quick out to the far side. Good blocking by the receiver downfield. That's going to spring the wide receiver. Another flag is thrown, and that's probably going to bring back the large gain for the Jackets. And you can kind of catch it on the corner of your eye on that second block that took place, and that's probably going to bring this back.
Yeah, nonetheless, a great catch and a great run. Good effort by the wideout there, and eventually, hopefully, he'll keep going, get the yardage that he earned, but We'll have to see what the refs call here, whether or not he gets to stay with the ball down at the 28 or not.
It's going to be a holding call, and it's going to be against Del City. And so that's going to be a big break for Choctaw. And the penalty on top of the nice gain will put the Yellow Jackets all the way down at the Del City 31-yard line. Their go-to guy when they throw the football is Zane Coleman. And we'll watch for him. I've watched him wrestle. He's a several-time state champion wrestler. Trips to the far side of the field, handoff up the middle. Ball there, the give goes to Blake Muse. Senior running back, fights forward, gets about 3-4 yards on the carry. That'll bring up 2nd and 6. So a quick moving first quarter of play. We have had several penalties that have slowed it just a bit, but now Choctaw again with that 3 right wide receivers set to the top of your screen. Handoff again to Muse. Knocks over one of his own linemen. Gets it down inside the 25. They're going to spot him right there at the 25, meaning he still needs another 4 yards to get the first down. That'll bring up 3rd and 4.
Well, but what that does is it makes it 3rd and short rather than a 3rd and long. You get a couple of good 4-yard gains or so, 2-3-yard gains. And maybe you say, oh, well, that's not that great. You're not getting anywhere. Well, now it's only 3rd and 4 as opposed to maybe a 3rd and 10 if you had decided to air the ball out both of those plays and maybe thrown an incomplete pass on both of them.
The give again to Muse straight ahead as he tunnels his way. Needed to get to the 21, probably just a bit shy of that depending upon the spot. Looks like they're going to spot him at about the 22.5, 23-yard line, so that'll bring up 4th and short for Choctaw. Quickly to the line of scrimmage. Thad Williams gets his team all set, and they're going to talk about it. We got a timeout on the field, no score, but Choctaw is threatening on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. We'll take a timeout, be right back.
Look, if you're not the lead dog, the scenery never changes. That's why this is the view for every other full-size pickup. And this year, it's deja vu all over again. Because only the Ford F-150 gives you best-in-class torque, best-in-class payload, and you got it, baby, best-in-class towing. This is the big dog. This is the Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
Now get 0% financing for 72 months on a new 2018 F-150 at your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Welcome back to Calsu Stadium on the campus of Del City High School. No score, but Choctaw on the move right now. 7:07 left to go in this first quarter of play. Looking at a 4th down and 2. Williams, the quarterback, can run the football. You've got Muse as the tailback off to his left. Williams, high snap, gives to Muse. Muse fights forward, and that's going to be close. Teammates seem to think he's got it.
That's awfully close. You might have to bring out the chain gang. Let him have a closer look at it. At least from our vantage point, it looks maybe close enough that you have to bring him out.
And they're not even going to bring him out. They're going to say that Del City held. You can see number 49 there for Choctaw. It's Isaiah Sumlin, and he's kind of looking at it, looking at the ball, looking at the yard marker and thinking, well, it looks pretty close to me, but they're going to change the balls out. They're going to change the offense and defense out, and Del City is going to take over. So the defense holds, and the Eagles come out for their second attempt on offense. Still no score in our ball game.
That's one thing of the game that I like that they haven't tried to modernize yet is the chains. Just 2 guys standing out there with a couple of poles. Let them do it.
1st and 10, straight run play once again as Ganther tries left side and gets hit right as he goes to the sideline marker. Good job there by Choctaw's number 28 coming up and making the tackle there. That is Mason Bussell, inside linebacker. Short gain on the play for Ganther. Not a bad crowd on hand, everything considered with the weather, but again, it had slowed and at times has stopped completely raining. Better watch that. Let's see how they rule that. Is that going to be a backward pass that was fumbled or just an incomplete pass?
Yeah, that'll be an interesting call. Looks like they're going to leave it at the original line of scrimmage.
Yep.
I'd say it wasn't backwards, but definitely a dangerous play there when you do that. If it's behind the quarterback and that happens, that's a fumble. So
that was a big play that happened in the Midwest City Bentonville game that we called earlier in the season. Everybody stood around like it was an incomplete pass. One of the Bombers picked it up, took the length of the field for the touchdown. Midwest City later came back to win that ball game. Ganther throwing deep this time, hit as he throws, and the pass is caught far side, and that's Foreman. That's the young man that we told you to look out for, Jeff Foreman, number 14. And he is one of the top receivers in the state of Oklahoma.
A great play on both sides of that. Quarterback, a great throw, under pressure, got a man in his face, as you see the replay here, hit as he throws. That one goes a little bit higher, but no problem for Foreman as he just goes up and gets it.
Nice job on the tackle there by Gabe Johnson. Otherwise, Foreman's going into the end zone for 6. In Choctaw territory, run a little trap play. That's going to pick up about 4 yards and get the Eagles down to the Choctaw 40-yard line. They like to speed the game up, no question about that. L.J. Brown on the carry for the Eagles. Quick little meeting and then right back to the line of scrimmage. Field level look, and somebody moved. Looked to be on the right side of that offensive front for Del City. Flags are thrown, and Del City begins to retreat. Look at the schedule for Del City coming up after tonight's ball game. They will host Putnam West next week and then have a couple of road games at Deer Creek and at Putnam City. And boy, they have the toughest part of the schedule. We talked about the teams that were predicted possibly to finish ahead of them in district play, and they play them all in week 8, 9, and 10 versus Midwest City at Lawton and also getting Stillwater at home. We'll tell you about the Choctaw rest of the schedule here in just a bit. 2nd down and 11. Running play, far side. That's a nice open field tackle there by Choctaw.
You know, one thing you mentioned a minute ago about Del City's offense moving so quickly. Already this season putting up 33 against Bartlesville, 31 against Carl Albert, 47 against Bishop McGuinness, and last season averaging 30 points a game. So you've seen in the past this offense is very successful, and maybe part of it is just the fact that they move so quickly.
Yeah, you got to be ready for it. I'm sure that's something that, again, the two coaches know each other. They both played at Carl Albert, coached at Carl Albert. They're 4 or 5 years apart. Here's a reception. Caught and then turning it back the other way. This is the other Foreman brother, number 15. And that is Jack Foreman.
Great job to evade the defense there. I mean, he had almost, wall of white jerseys chasing him after he turned around. You'll see it again here. Goes towards the middle of the field. Once he turns around, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 white jerseys in the frame.
So he's able to get some of that yardage back. Eagles on the move again, and again it appears as though somebody moved on the offensive line just a little bit early as they got out of sync there. So that'll stop the clock and force the Eagles to retreat at least 5 yards for the time being.
Yeah, we've already seen a lot of penalties early on. Both teams going to need to clean it up as the game moves along, or we'll be stopping every couple seconds to watch the ref do a couple of hand gestures.
Line of scrimmage now is at the Choctaw 32-yard line. Ganther, the quarterback. L.J. Brown in the backfield, going to throw the swing pass out to Brown. Brown gets the corner, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's it. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10. The throw was to the back shoulder. That maybe slowed him down just a little bit. They didn't lead him with the pass, but he still was able to pick up a couple of yards and get it inside the 30 down to about the 28-yard line, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, the Choctaw sideline is pleading with the ref for a holding call there on Colin Leisinger, as he did a decent job of blocking, but they're saying that he had a little bit too much jersey, and they were visibly frustrated with the no call.
Quick move to the outside. That was a good stop up front. Number 89 makes the first contact there. That is Donnie Wingate for Choctaw, and then he gets some help from his defensive teammates. Gain of maybe a half yard on the play, and that'll bring up 3rd down and almost 10. Well, you can see the quickness and the athleticism of Del City, but to this point, it has not resulted in any points. Ganther again, this time going to roll it left. On the move, throws it, passes incomplete. Intended here on the near side for Kyshawn Murray. Incomplete.
Yeah, the only time we've really seen Del City move the ball significantly is on some pass plays to the Foreman brothers. And so it seems like anytime he targets anybody else or anytime they run the ball, it's a very short gain or no gain. So definitely wants to probably see if he can find those two as much as possible.
So 4-down territory for the Eagles, looking at a 4th down and 10. From the Choctaw 27-yard line, Ganther throwing, pass complete as he gets Foreman, and Foreman's going to get around the corner and into the end zone for an apparent touchdown. No flags on the play, and it looks like the Eagles have taken the lead. Ganther throwing the pass and getting it complete there to Jack Foreman. What a duo they present for any defensive challenge.
We've talked about Jeff Foreman in the pregame, and Jack Foreman, his brother, is almost just as talented. Obviously, he doesn't have maybe quite the numbers that brother does, but he's definitely a big target for the offense and a big weapon for him. And so definitely somebody that Choctaw is going to have to keep track of, because I feel like those two do a great job kind of offsetting each other.
Jack came in with 6 catches, 115 yards on the season. He gets the Eagles on the scoreboard first. The extra point attempt is blocked, and that's where we sit with about 4 minutes left to go in this first quarter play. Eagles on the scoreboard. Jack Foreman on a touchdown pass from the quarterback, Quinlan Ganther, and the Eagles go on top 6-0 on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
You may have heard of Tulsa Tech, but did you know we offer business and industry training for large and small companies? Come get trained and certified in areas like confined space, HAZWOPER, crane rigging, CPR, first responder, and more. To learn more about our affordable and customized training and how Tulsa Tech can be a valuable resource to your company, call 918-828-5000 or visit us online at tulsatech.edu.
Welcome back to Calsu Stadium along with Dylan Rivera. I'm Steve Marshall, happy to be able to bring you as much high school football as you can possibly stand, and of course with a lot of games that were moved from Friday to last night's action, and still some of those where folks didn't want to get out and battle the elements. We're happy to be able to bring you this game here this evening. Had the markings of a good game, and to this point so far, it has been. Del City getting on the scoreboard first with 4:13 left to go here in the first quarter. Jack Foreman on a 27-yard pass from Quinlan Ganther. The kick failed, and right now that gives us our score. As you see, it's 6-0 Del City on top of Choctaw.
Yeah, and if you've been watching this whole first quarter with us, you've seen Del City can be lethal through the air. Definitely something you need to watch if you're a team that's getting ready to play them here in a few weeks, or a head coach that's looking at some talent or something. Definitely keep an eye on Del City's air raid offense type of attack. Obviously, they put the ball into their running back's hands, but when they put it up in the air, boy, it's a show.
Return for Choctaw by number 8. That's Deshaun Moore. He's going to get it out to, let's see where they're going to spot it, about the 31-yard line. And that's where Choctaw will put it in play, 1st and 10. Choctaw showed as though they can move the football as well. They just didn't have it long enough. They went for it on a 4th and short, came up just short, and they had to turn the ball back over to Del City. And the Eagles then took it and went on the scoring drive that has them on top right now, 6-0. Quarterback Thad Williams. Handoff up the middle. Good job defensively as he ran into a stone wall there. Ball carrier, Corey Williams.
Yeah, 2 linebackers coming on a blitz almost in those exact same gaps So quarterback's got to read that, or something's got to change there, because that's run straight into a bull rush blitz.
Williams in the backfield. Number 4, they're going to send number 3. That's Gabe Johnson in motion to the far side of the field. High snap, taken down. Running play, churning, fighting. But again, not much there as he's able to get 1 yard on the carry. Eagles defense doing a good job so far here early in this contest. They gave up the 32 points to Carl Albert, but they held McGinnis to a touchdown and they held Bartlesville to a touchdown. So it's not just the offense that has played well so far in the early season for Del City. And a whistle blows and a flag has come out. Penalty is going to be called. It's going to be illegal procedure, the call against the Choctaw Yellow Jackets, and that'll mark them back 5 yards.
Yeah, we've seen again a lot of penalties. Both sides, it seems like it's been the offense for both teams. Del City's offense and Choctaw's offense are the ones that are picking up the penalties. So both of them are going to need to clean up their act right there on the line of scrimmage, because that's where it seems to be most of the time.
In shotgun formation, Thad Williams, empty backfield, dropping to throw. Steps up, looking downfield, fires the pass. That's going to be incomplete.
A little odd. Looked like he had time to really set his feet and throw. I don't know what happened there, but as he was throwing, he almost like went to the turf. Seemed like maybe he either lost his balance or
slipped as he planted his foot, perhaps. And he also looked like he had some running room after he stepped up in the pocket there.
Absolutely, yeah.
So a punting situation coming up for Choctaw. High snap, punter's able to gather it in, rugby styles it across midfield. That's going to hit at about the 30-yard line, roll all the way down to the 28, and that's where the Eagles will put it in play. 1st and 10. We'll take a timeout with Del City on top of Choctaw. They lead at 6-0 on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
No one thinks about their water heater until it fails.
At that point, you have a huge mess on your hands with water damage everywhere.
A planned water heater replacement can save you a lot of trouble.
Right now, you can save big on a new high-efficiency water heater.
Call Airco Service,
the company you know.
Eagles with the football. They have a 6-0 lead. Just under 3 minutes left to go in this first quarter of play. Thanks for joining us tonight on YurView. It's game time. And we've got the action for you here tonight. Low snap. Ganther gathers it in and then throws. Pass is incomplete.
Ooh, that should have definitely been an interception. That was number 3, Gabe Johnson, coming up in coverage. And that one's one you want back, as he definitely should have had that one. That was right in his numbers.
Looked like the receiver was a little late in realizing the pass was for him. As we take a look at the replay, there were 2 defenders that were there in the area. Incomplete is the call nonetheless. 2nd and 10 for the Eagles. Running play, big hole off the left side. That's going to go for about a 7-yard gain on the carry for Del City.
Well, that's one where he probably should have cut it back outside instead of back inside. And it looked like his wide receiver there, Jack Foreman, was telling him the same thing. Say, hey, come around my backside. Because if he had come out to the weak side here and bounced it outside, Foreman was there, could have gotten at least one more block in, maybe another yard or 2.
So 3rd down, still need about 3 to get the necessary yardage for the 1st down. Ganther's going to take it, keep it himself. He's hit before he gets to the 38-yard line. Looks like they're going to spot him about the 37. I believe he's a yard shy. To see exactly where they set it down. You see the linesman there and the referee. They're going to march it out to the middle of the field and then make the decision there.
It looks like the punting unit is out on the field for Del City.
So it's going to be about a good yard shy. They don't want to take any chances. Not necessarily deep in their own zone, but the 37-yard line, they just as soon kick it away, we think. Or maybe not.
They got a punter back there.
Snap is back. Kick is away. Rolling dead at about the 36-yard line, and that's where the Choctaw Yellow Jackets will take over. 1st and 10, trailing this game 6-0 with 1:39 left to go in our first quarter.
A little bit of news from somewhere else in the state, but still around these two teams is Daxton Hill of Booker T. Washington this week, number 1 prospect in the state of Oklahoma, committed to Michigan.
How about that?
Going Big Ten.
I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. I know that he had some offers from really everybody, SEC schools in particular. His brother, of course, going to OSU, but speculation is that he's going to go the pro route next year. Here's a quick slant pass that's incomplete. Trying to get the pass there to number 5, looking for Caden Young. Just couldn't hold on.
Yeah, we saw another top safety in the state of Oklahoma go Big Ten last year with Josh Proctor going to Ohio State. So maybe there's a safeties from Oklahoma Big Ten movement.
They don't want to hang around and have to go against the passing games in the Big 12,
Absolutely.
Here's a pass play to the far side. What a catch.
That may be the best catch we've had on one of our streams.
Well, we got a flag that was thrown by the back judge who was right there, and reaction from Choctaw is saying that it's going to be against the Yellow Jackets, and it looks like it's going to be offensive pass interference as he pushed off at the end. Wow.
That's crazy. That ruins such a great play, too. That's one of those momentum builders, one of those that get your team kind of psyched up. Now you're excited, but coming back, now you're upset. Now you're, you got your head in your chest. You're upset about it.
So he pushed off beforehand. There you saw the flag coming in, so instead of it being a great catch, as Dylan said, it's going to be a penalty against the Yellow Jackets. And that's going to move them all the way back to their own 21-yard line. It's a little hitch and go for the wide receiver. Williams faked as though he's going to throw the quick slant, drew it back again, and then threw down field. It was caught, but interference was the call on the offense. Here's another pass play. This one is caught near side of the field. Loses the ball, picks it up, and continues running. He's going to take it all the way to the house for a touchdoall.
There he goes.
Number 3, Gabe Johnson. There's one for your Sports Center highlights.
That one was an interesting play, I'll tell you that much. Ball punched out from behind, it looked like. I don't know if he was actually going for the ball or not, or maybe just going for the tackle and knocked it loose. But a great catch, great throw off the play action, and then just takes off down the field, able to corral the football. That's a big part of that play, too. Footballs are hard to predict. If you ever dropped one and then tried to catch it, it's not the easiest thing to do because it'll bounce all over the place.
It bounced right back up to him.
It was almost in a straight line, easy for him.
79 yards on the entire play. Extra point attempt is up and good. So the Yellow Jackets off the touchdown by Gabe Johnson on the pass from Thad Williams. They go on top of Del City. Minute 15 left to go in the first quarter. Our score is 7-6.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand.
We're gonna kayak, mountain bike, rock climb, zip line.
First, let's get out of the city.
Yeah. Oh, then hang gliding.
Oh, you're on your own.
Keep your adventure on track with Ford, the brand with the most J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards. Now during Ford SUV season, get 0% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Well, we got a good one going here at Calsu Stadium in Del City. The Eagles got on the board first on a 27-yard touchdown pass from Ganther to Jack Foreman, and then a 79-yard touchdown pass from Thad Williams to Gabe Johnson, who loses it on the way to the end zone. It bounces twice. He's able to pick it up without much problem, and he takes it all the way in for the score. The extra point is good, and now the Yellow Jackets are on top of the Eagles by a score of 7-6.
Yeah, and that last touchdown for Choctaw, that's exciting. That was exciting. And not only that, but the play right before it was an exciting play. I was just talking about how, it got called back with the holding call, and you're like, man, that was a good play. Now, now we've moved backwards. And then the next play, he just basically does it all over again. Catches a nice ball and takes off down the field for a touchdown.
Another flag on the play thrown by the referee. We've seen a plethora of flags being thrown here in this first quarter. It's going to be a holding call against Del City on the return. The flag right there at the 30-yard line, so they're going to start this drive inside their own 20. So they'll mark off the yardage here. Dylan and I will keep track of some of the scores. Again, a limited schedule for tonight. There were games obviously already scheduled for Thursday, and then a lot of the games that were scheduled for tonight got moved up because of the weather. I did hear a report where the Southeast High School bus had an accident, crashed just south of Chickasha. Fortunately, nobody was injured. They decided to turn around and probably go back to Altus to play that game tomorrow. So good news there as far as nobody being injured. Probably a little shaken, and they decided, well, let's just go home and redo this tomorrow. Here's a running play in a huge hole up the middle. That's going to be good enough to get them all the way out across the 40-yard line.
Yeah, great run right up the middle, and you see sometimes those right up those middle ones are tough to gauge. Usually most of the time it seems like they're unsuccessful. They only go a couple of yards. They don't get as much yardage as those outside runs. But that one, great blocking up front, gets him a huge hole, huge gap in the defense, and he's able to take that up for about 20-30 yards.
That time the handoff goes up the middle and there's nowhere to go. Defensively, Choctaw comes up and stuffs the run on that particular play as we're under a minute left to go in this first quarter. Pretty even so far to this point. Only 1 point, the extra point by Choctaw, separates the two teams here in the early going. From their own 40-yard line. Quinlan Ganther checks the defense. Low snap. Able to pick it up, and now he's going to take off for the sideline. And he's going to get it across the 40, just about back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of a yard on the play. It's going to stop the clock with just under 10 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Well, I was going to see how long it took you to mention the fact that Broken Arrow got the victory last night. Big one, no doubt.
I'm glad you mentioned it, Steve. Yeah, big win over Jinx last night, moved to 4-0. A great season so far for Broken Arrow.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. First quarter's in the books. Del City trailing Choctaw 7-6 on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. We'll be back.
WEOKIE's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a WEOKIE 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at WEOKIE and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact WEOKIE for details.
No one thinks about their water heater until it fails.
At that point, you have a huge mess on your hands with water damage everywhere.
A planned water heater replacement can save you a lot of trouble.
Right now, you can save big on a new high-efficiency water heater.
Call Airco Service,
the company you know.
Welcome back. Second quarter of action ready to get underway. There you get a look at the big uns up front for the Del City Eagles. Find themselves trailing now. Choctaw got the 79-yard pass play and the extra point to take the lead. Running play here for the quarterback. Quinlan Ganther for the Del City Eagles. He's rushed the ball unofficially 27 times for 69 yards. Don't forget, whenever there's a sack on a play, when they're dropping back the pass, that goes against their rushing yardage. So sometimes those figures, those numbers can be a bit misleading. Gets it across midfield to the Choctaw 48-yard line. Ganther tries to throw the quick pass, but that's blocked at the line of scrimmage. Nice job there by number 49. That is Isaiah Sumlin.
Yeah, great job by the defensive line. Sumlin to get his hand up in the air and get a hand on the ball. I feel like that's something that we've seen become a little bit more common in football. It seemed like not very long ago, it didn't happen all that often, and now it seems like almost every couple plays you're getting a pass batted down.
Eagles once again get it set up. Quarterback keeper as he took it away from the running back. He'll get it inside the 45, down at about the 43-yard line in Choctaw territory.
I'll tell you one thing, Del City's got some sweet uniforms. Black and red.
You like those, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I thought at first they might be a problem to call some of those numbers on some jerseys. It can be difficult to see sometimes. Broken arrow. And looks like Choctaw a little anxious. Were they drawn off or did they jump off on their own? Officials are discussing it.
And we talked about Broken Arrow a couple of times. They've actually got a couple of interesting connections to this game. For one, Jake Corbin, the Choctaw head coach, is a former offensive coordinator for Broken Arrow. And then Mike Dunn is the head coach here at Del City, and he is the brother of the athletic director at Broken Arrow, Steve Dunn. So a couple of interesting connections to my hometown.
You see a lot of that where if there's one member of the family that's in the teaching profession, coaching profession, there's usually more than just that one. And sometimes you see a father or a mother or both, and then a son or a couple of sons, as you mentioned in that case.
It's family business.
It certainly is.
Yeah, I believe Jake Corbin, head coach of Choctaw, I believe his wife is the cheer coach at Choctaw as well. Yeah, he's taken an interesting route to get there. He was also an assistant at Union, and then even an assistant at Del City. Head coach at Sepulpa for a little while. Now here he is at Choctaw. He's also the assistant AD for Choctaw. So he's taken a long way to get here, but he's definitely doing a good job so far this season, as he has them sitting at 2-1.
Handoff up the middle. Couldn't get him inside the 35, down to about the 34-yard line. Get a good look at the guys coming up off the bottom of the pile there, the Choctaw Yellow Jackets. Playing tough defensively. Del City's had the ball for the most part, but only the 6 points to show for it. A lot of penalties both ways. Choctaw in that three-man front. Usually sending a blitzer or two from the edge or up the gaps. Here they pick up the blitz. Pass over the middle is caught, complete. Racing towards the end zone and into the end zone for the touchdown. Once again, Del City, and this time it's Kobe Higgins who gets the touchdown pass from Ganther, and Del City has retaken the lead.
Well, in that one you see the blitz come in, and that one, the blitz is really kind of what creates that big hole, and quarterback able to look him off. As you see, he kind of looks over to the left towards that wide receiver on the out route. Makes those two linebackers think, you know what, he's getting ready to throw the ball out there. Those linebackers take a step outside, leaves an inside on that curl route for Higgins there, and he's able to take that one to the house. Good yak yardage for Higgins.
So now the extra point attempt. Del City missed their first go-round on this. Looks like they're going to try to go for two here. Looking to the sidelines for instruction, and it's going to result in a timeout. So we'll take one as well. 12-7 with the extra point yet to come for the Del City Eagles. They have the lead right now in your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
Tulsa Tech's our primary source of training. From specialized machining to leadership training, there's definitely a technology gap between the actual working of the machines and the talent pool of people able to operate these machines. The more that we can educate ourselves, our employees, the better off that we are to serve our customers. Tulsa Tech has programs for your whole organization to learn. No matter what size your company is, Tulsa Tech can help.
Del City Eagles back out on the field. Still looking as though they're going to go for that two-point conversion. Again, the quarterback, Quinlan Ganther, In the backfield alongside him is L.J. Brown as you get a field side look. Ganther pulls it down, now reverses field, and a good shoestring tackle there, taken down by number 12, Cole Smith. And the Eagles fail on their attempt on the extra point. That'll leave our score at 12-7. Del City on top with 9:55 left to go here in this first half of play. So Del City got on the board first, took the 6-0 lead. Choctaw answered back. They did make their extra point to go on top 7-6, and now we stand at Del City leading Choctaw by a score of 12-7.
I had a feeling coming into this game that this was going to be a good one. This was going to be one that we'd kind of see go back and forth, head to head, and maybe even end up not seeing a real winner until that fourth quarter. So this is going to be interesting next 2.5 quarters of football.
Don't forget, we have the GigaBlast halftime show coming your way. We'll have some looks back at the top plays of this first half. Also, take a look at some of the scores from last night's games as well as this evening's games. Get you caught up on week 4 of the high school football season. Again, opening of district play for most everybody across the state. And in some games like these, it's a district game with a lot riding on it. As we mentioned, the preseason prognosticators had Midwest City and Lawton High 1 and 2. Those two teams did play last night. I will tell you that score from last evening was 56-45 with Midwest City winning that contest. Stillwater was picked third in this district, and then it was either Del City or Choctaw 4th and 5th. So that would mean that one of these teams is in, one of these teams is out, and obviously a big leg up for whoever comes out on top of this game. So even though it's just week 4, you'd have to think that the coaches prepare them as though this is week 9 or week 10. Guys got to go out and give it your all and come back with a victory here tonight. Kick goes into the end zone, angles out, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Jackets. They've not run nearly as many plays as Del City has, but they've been efficient with it when they've had the football.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've seen some great production out of Gabe Johnson. Seems like he's kind of Coleman's favorite target and the one that he wants to throw to. And he's been able to find him a couple of times. And one time, obviously, we talked about it. Was a very exciting play. Great throw, great catch. And that one had to come back. But right after that goes for, I believe you said it was a 79-yard touchdown play?
Right, yep. Pass to the far side, complete, but not much of a gain there. Maybe a yard. That's about it. They'll set it on the far hash. Quarterback again for Del City is Thad Williams.
Oh, I said Zane Coleman. You also said Del City, so we're both working on it.
Okay.
We'll get better sometime.
That's right. Handoff up the middle, stopped dead in his tracks, and he's going to get taken down for a loss. He will not give up, however. He'll fight to get back to the 20-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard of the play. Good job by that Del City defensive front.
Yeah, he did a good job of staying up on his feet, dodged a couple of tacklers right off the bat, and looked like maybe if the offensive line had, done a little bit better of blocking, he could have created something out of that, but nonetheless, only you're able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so maybe a loss of 1 or loss of nothing.
Spotted at the 20-yard line, 3rd and 10. Williams takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Going to throw deep to the near side. Has a receiver out there, but it looks like it was intercepted and then dropped. Incomplete pass is the ruling on the play. Good job defensively by Greg Wittenberg, number 5, who was out there for Del City. Had another teammate out there as well, so the Eagles had that well covered.
Yeah, I thought Kobe Higgins was going to come up with that interception right after getting a touchdown, too. That would have been quite a couple of 2 plays there in a row for him. But unable to come up with that catch. And it'll be 4th and 10 and a punting situation for Choctaw.
Can't make mistakes at this end of the field when you are kicking away. Retreats, gets the ball, and kicks a low line drive type punt. Going to get some pretty good yards out of it. Actually picked up at the 48-yard line in Choctaw territory. picked up there by number 14. That is Jack Foreman.
Jeff Foreman.
14 is Jeff, 15 is Jack. You are correct. Got to get our Foremans. No George Foreman that I could tell.
Yeah, I don't see a George on there.
So they spot the ball at the 41-yard line. Del City will have it 1st and 10 in Choctaw territory.
And we talk about Jeff Foreman a lot. Very successful season so far already. Already got almost half of his yardage from last year. 49 catches, 1,143 yards last year. How about 22 catches and 524 already? So he's definitely on the right track for this season.
Running play looked like it was supposed to go up the middle, bounced it outside, taken down there. Nice job defensively. Number 28, Mason Bussell, is the first one there defensively for the Yellow Jackets. That's going to be a yard of loss on the play. That'll set up 3rd down and long for the Eagles. See what Del City calls here, showing blitz from the edge. Choctaw comes with it. It's a gain of about 2 yards, going to get inside the 40, but not much more. Good job defensively by Choctaw.
You could see that corner blitz coming in, and he was able to make a hit on the running back there. Good job getting into the play. Sometimes you see those corner blitzes when they're picked up correctly, leaves a big hole on one side of the field, but that time able to bust into the backfield, make a good play.
So let's see what Del City can dial up here. Line of scrimmage at the Choctaw 39-yard line. Pass over the middle, complete. Fighting forward, still, did they rule him down? I guess they did. I'm going to say he's down at the 32-yard line.
Deshaun Moore there on the tackle did a good job of still staying with it. Obviously, it was a man-to-man coverage, and one man slips up, and then he was there in his area, his zone of the defense, because obviously you're not going to run fully man. There's going to be a couple of safeties in zone. He was in zone and able to make the play as he was just in the right spot at the right time.
So the line of scrimmage now at the 32-yard line. Eagles with the ball. A little broken play there as he has to keep it, and will pick up about a yard on the play for Ganther.
Yeah, it looked like he was thinking play action there or some kind of a handoff, and maybe a miscommunication with his running back as his running back took off. And he just had to make something out of it.
The Oklahoman puts out their super class of 30 high school football players. Jeff Foreman was number 13 on that list this year. 6'2", 167. Lots of length, too, and speed.
He'll be an Arkansas State Red Wolf next year.
We mentioned Dax Hill earlier. He was the number 1 player going into the season. Marcus Major Jr. from Millwood was the 2nd-rated player on that list, and then we have the list of other guys. Number 4 on that list I got to see last night, Trace Ford, defensive end linebacker for Edmond Santa Fe. He caught 2 touchdowns last night, played a very good game defensively for them, showed a lot of athleticism. Very impressed with what I saw on him last night. And they're still talking about something, not quite sure exactly what it is. Looks as though the ball is going to be spotted just about at the 31-yard line. Del City in Choctaw territory, holding on to a 12-7 lead, knocking on the door, threatening to put some more points on the board. Snap goes through his hands, able to retreat, pick it up. He's in trouble, and he's going to go down at about the 41-yard line. It looked like he turned away for just a second and didn't realize the ball was coming back until the last possible second there, and it gets away from him, and that's a key loss, big loss of the play for Del City.
Well, it's another snap that wasn't the greatest in the world, a little high right around the helmet area, and of course I think, like you say, maybe he took his head off the ball or his eyes off the ball, and he's got the hands ready right around that number, right around your chest or your stomach, and that's where they should be. When that snap comes high, you've only got so much time to react to it.
This time he drops the snap, And he's going to get taken down, still fighting, and then finally taken down at about the 43-yard line. So kind of loss of momentum here for Del City. They were marching, had good field position, but now they're going in the opposite direction. Line of scrimmage now going to be at the Choctaw 43-yard line.
Well, I can tell you what they're going to work on in practice this week. Those shotgun snaps. They've so far had quite a few miscues on them, and this one just a back-to-back miscues on the snaps. We'll see if maybe they can get some positive yardage here.
Here comes the blitz, hit as he throws, far side, caught, what a catch, inside the 10-yard line. You can watch the taunting there. Nice catch and grab there by number 7 once again for Del City, Kobe Higgins, who's coming up big here in this second quarter.
Yeah, maybe he hears us talking about the Foreman brothers a lot and says, you know what, I got some game too, and you can see a great catch here. He's got one-on-one man coverage out there, and actually a pretty good thrown ball by Ganther there. Put that in place for his receiver to even get a couple of hands on it, and he's able to beat out Gabe Johnson in coverage.
First and goal now from the 8, tackled behind the line of scrimmage and going to be driven down. See where they marked the ball. He did not get back to the line of scrimmage, I don't believe. Going to be a loss of a yard or two. Looks like they're going to spot it down right at the 10-yard line.
That's just a great job by Big 5-0 there on the defensive line, Jelani Tyre. Great job getting through the offensive line and making a hit in the backfield.
So as Dylan said, second and goal from the 10-yard line now. And everybody but the 3 offensive linemen on the right side moved. Illegal procedure, and that'll set them back all the way to the 15-yard line. We're under, or right at 4 minutes left to go here in this first half of play. It's been a good one. A couple of big-time plays and touchdowns. Tough defense. Both teams are going to want to clean up the penalties a little bit. And as always, it'll be key on what adjustments they make during the halftime intermission.
I think for sure both teams are going to have to figure out a way to pick up some yardage on the ground.
Lots of running room. Ganther going to get inside the 5 down to about the 2-yard line. You could see the receivers all from the top of your screen running post patterns to the middle, and there were no defenders back there. And wisely, Quinlan Ganther, the quarterback, saw that as well, and he was able to get it all the way down to the 2-yard line, a gain of about 13.
Yeah, and you got to think that was probably a designed play, kind of drag those defenders over to one area of the field in man coverage, and he just got wide open running room over on the weak side.
Now from under center, drops the football, picks it back up, tries to burrow his way into the end zone, didn't quite make it, but he's going to be right there inside the 1-yard line. Very, very fortunate is Del City.
Yeah, again, a snap messed up, and now I'm starting to think maybe it's not even just shotgun snaps. They really got to figure something out, whether it's the center or the quarterback. Somebody's got to do a better job of handling the ball here.
Third down and goal from the 1 for the Eagles. Leading at 12-7, trying to make it a 2-possession football game. And they're going to talk about it. With 2:23 left to go here in this first half, we're going to talk about it as well. We'll come back on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. Stay with us.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Del City Eagles, Choctaw Yellow Jackets, both teams trotting back onto the field. Third down and goal situation with the ball just inside the 1-yard line. Eagles trying to add to their 5-point lead. They have had trouble, as Dylan mentioned, with the exchange between the quarterback and the center, whether it's under center or out of the shotgun. That time, he's going to keep it himself. Did not get there. And they're going to say that, I thought it was third down. They're saying that was fourth down. So it looks as though Choctaw is going to take over on downs. So a big play. Even bigger now, change of possession, giving the ball to the Choctaw Yellow Jackets as you take a look.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder, maybe should you have gotten a bigger player in there to try to just truck over some of those smaller guys, and maybe he's able to punch it in, but instead just give it to the quarterback and let him give it a shot. Maybe get some momentum from the shotgun formation and see if that works.
Now Choctaw can't have any mess ups down here, is inside their own 1 yard line. Keeper up the middle for Williams. He'll pick up a yard or so, but that's a valuable yard. Gives him a little bit more breathing room here as we go under 2 minutes left to play in this first half. Both teams looking to the sideline for some instruction. Williams telling his offensive line to get set, get ready. He'll work out of the shotgun. Back to throw, far side, whips one out, pass a little too tall, mistimed his jump there. Intended for number 3, Gabe Johnson. Looked like he jumped a little early for that and was unable to hold on, and that'll bring up a 3rd down situation.
Yeah, not only that, but I don't think Gabe Johnson stands much taller than maybe 5'9", 5'10". And so putting that ball pretty high is going to be a difficult task for somebody who's not very lengthy at the wide receiver position.
Yellow Jackets send 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Single man at the bottom. Del City going to bring the house on the blitz. Pass over the middle, incomplete. And now a 4th down situation where Choctaw is going to have to punt from deep inside their own end zone. So 4th down.
Yeah, and you got to believe that Del City's bringing the whole unit here. Going to try to block this punt.
Could be nothing, could be one of the pivotal points of the game. The deep man to punt it away, I believe, over his head and through the back of the end zone, and that's why exactly we said it was an important play, and that's an automatic safety. So 2 more points for Del City, plus Choctaw will have to kick it away from their own 20 to the Eagles.
I gotta say, I didn't see that one coming. I was thinking that maybe, hey, they'll get in the backfield and maybe get a hand on it, or maybe he gets a quick punt off and it, spirals out and maybe goes, 20, 30 yards. But didn't see a high snap out of the end zone coming.
So when you look up and you see a 14-7 score, you'd think, well, just 3 regular touchdowns, but that's not the case. As 2 touchdowns with the missed extra points and then the safety. That makes it the conventional 14-7, just the unconventional way with which we got there. So with 1:38 left to go in this first half, now Choctaw has to kick it away to Del City from their own 20, which means that Eagles should get pretty good field position.
And again, we've seen Del City's offense be fairly productive. They've been able to move the ball pretty well. 2 touchdowns on the board. And we'll see if maybe they can repeat some of this success. As you mentioned, this punt, they're probably going to get pretty good field position off of it. And see if maybe they can get something in the last minute and a half. And I'd imagine if they're going to, they're definitely going to have to get a couple of good plays through the air, because that's how they seem to have gained the majority of their yardage.
So you have the option. You can traditional place kick it, or you can punt it. Actually saw somebody drop kick one last week. I think that was on the collegiate level. And here they just punt it away from their own 20. High kick taken at the 47, and then lunging forward as he lost the handle on it, but was able to cover it up right away. Number 9 for Del City getting on top of that, and that is Javon West. So still plenty of time for the Eagles. 1:34 left to go before halftime. See if they can add to that lead even further. Bob Kalsu Stadium in Del City. First time I made the trip up there many years ago. Benny Butler was the star running back for the Del City Eagles. That's probably before your time.
I don't know who Benny Butler is.
That would have been late 90s, I believe. Went on to play at the University of Oklahoma. Eagles with the football. Throwing downfield. This one, nobody really even near that. Got caught up in the secondary.
I think maybe he was throwing it out to the ref out there or something. I don't know. That was about the closest person to it.
Well, you can see, as you mentioned, that where this Del City team is going to give every opposition they have problems this year because of the length and the speed, the size of their wideouts, with both Foremans and Kobe Higgins.
And we haven't seen a lot of Leisinger yet, but I mean, you look at him; he's got a lot of length to him as well. So I think if you give him a decent ball, he's got a wide range. He'll probably be able to reel that in.
From their own 48-yard line. Instructions to the up back. He gets the handoff up the middle. First down yardage. Trucks the defensive back there and gets it all the way down to about the 34-yard line as the clock will stop to move the chains.
Not to be outdone, L.J. Brown has had himself a pretty good game. Every now and then busts a good run, but it just seems like consistently finding success through the air, whereas for L.J. Brown, it seems like it's just every now and then. And I think part of the reason is right there. You see another holding call, and he's going to get that play brought back.
So another penalty against Del City negates the long run and brings the ball all the way back to the Eagles' 46-yard line. Sometimes, that goes down as a 15-yard penalty, but doesn't take into consideration the yards they lose with the gain that was first and foremost.
Yeah, that's got to be kind of deflating, especially with time ticking away here in the first half. They're trying to get down the field, and a good run gets them, into field goal range at least.
Yeah.
And now the holding call brings them all the way back.
Rolling to his right, in trouble, eludes the traffic, now has some time to take off and run. Makes one guy miss, gets it across midfield. Gain of only 3 on the play, and again, he ran about 50 or 60 yards just to get that much. A lot of lateral movement there, just inside the midfield marker. Third down coming up for the Eagles. Doesn't look like they're in any hurry, Dylan.
No, I mean, I guess if you can get across this first down marker, you got a little bit of time to set up, maybe take one shot at the end zone, but I don't think Del City has any timeouts.
Very quickly to the line of scrimmage now, and it looks like they weren't quick enough, and they're going to get charged with the delay of game. That's going to stop the clock with just about 30 seconds left to go. That's definitely not what they wanted to do, was stop the clock.
That's interesting.
Well, in some ways it's been we've seen plenty of good offensive plays. We've seen a lot of good defensive plays. We've seen far too many penalties, I'm sure, for both coaches' liking.
I think we've seen it all. I think we've seen everything. I mean, there's even been a couple of good special teams plays. Seeing the blocked PAT, had a bad special teams play with a high snap. It causes a safety. So, I mean, it's been a very all-around game to watch.
A little bit of everything. Handoff here going nowhere. On the stop, number 28, Jacob Dunning. Or check that's Mason Bussell on the stop for Choctaw. And that may or may not be the final play of this first half. Looks as though that will be the end of the first half of play. So both teams retreat. They'll head to the locker rooms. They'll figure out what they need to do in the second half. That has Del City on top of Choctaw. 14-7, our score on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. We'll be back.
Look, if you're not the lead dog, the scenery never changes. That's why this is the view for every other full-size pickup. And this year, it's deja vu all over again. Because only the Ford F-150 gives you best-in-class torque, best-in-class payload, and you got it, baby, best-in-class towing. This is the big dog. This is the Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
Now get 0% financing for 72 months on a new 2018 F-150 at your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
WEOKIE's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a WEOKIE 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. and get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at WEOKIE and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact WEOKIE for details.
Tulsa Tech's our primary source of training. From specialized machining to leadership training, there's definitely a technology gap between the actual working of the machines and the talent pool of people able to operate these machines. The more that we can educate ourselves, our employees, the better off that we are to serve our customers. Tulsa Tech has programs for your whole organization to learn. No matter what size your company is, Tulsa Tech can help.
Good morning, Bella.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
Yeah. 5 little monkeys.
Yay, Bella!
Hold still. Almost done.
Oh, Bella, I really love playing with you.
Thanks, Grandma. I really like our visits.
Whatever tech tomorrow dreams up, you'll be ready with GigaBlast. Future speed internet is here from Cox.
Are you looking for a career where you can work anywhere and even travel the world? Do you have a passion to work with people, plan events, or own your own restaurant? Tulsa Tech can help you build a successful career with exciting hospitality programs. Programs like culinary arts, restaurant and lodging management, and event planning. Make your own path to a successful career you love by calling Tulsa Tech at 918-828-5000 or apply online at tulsatech.edu.
The GigaBlast Halftime Show, powered by Cox, is brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers, the best in Oklahoma. Airco, the company you know. Tulsa Tech, for your future success, go to tulsatech.edu. And by WEOKIE Credit Union. Join us all fall long for some of the top high school football from around the country on Game Time.
Welcome back, everybody. Your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. We are now beginning our GigaBlast halftime show. Find out more about GigaBlast and what Cox is bringing to your area, your neighborhood, and to your home. Go to Cox.com. Let's take a look at how we got to our score right now with Del City on top 14-7. We'll recap the scoring for you first. Jack Foreman catching a 27-yard touchdown pass from Quinlan Ganther. Extra point was no good. That put Del City on top 6-0. Choctaw answered about 3 minutes later, answered back on a 79-yard pass from Thad Williams to Gabe Johnson. They did make the extra point, went on to take a 7-6 lead, and then in the second quarter, touchdown pass from Ganther to Kobe Higgins, made it 12-7 as the run failed, and then a safety late in that first half of play with 1:38 left to go for the Del City Eagles, and that gives us our score of 14-7. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights now and see the ways that these guys got here. And first off, we're going to take a look here at the big pass play for Del City, setting things up for him, Dylan.
Yeah, a tough pass in the first place. I mean, he stayed very patient in the pocket, defensive lineman in his face, lets it fly, and a great catch by one of the Foreman brothers.
All right, and then we're going to see the touchdown pass here going to Jack Foreman.
Yeah, and this was the other Foreman brother. Caught that on the in route and then able to bounce it back out to that corner of the end zone and put 6 points up on the board.
Choctaw wouldn't go away, however, as they were able to get back, and they get the long touchdown pass coming up on this play here. A nice throw from Thad Williams.
Yeah, that one was kind of a short, maybe 20-yard pass, but it turns into a big play. Right here you see they kind of lost the ball, ends up getting a good bounce, picking it back up, taking it to the house.
So that put them in a good position right there, and then we're going to watch Del City come up with another big catch here on offense. Quarterback throwing over the middle. He's going to work his way deep inside and into the end zone for the touchdown. That's Kobe Higgins.
Yeah, great job by the quarterback. I mentioned right after that play, he kind of looked off the defenders to the left, found his wide receiver right down the middle, and he had running room in front of him.
Del City was turned away later as they would have another chance here. We're going to take a look at Johnson throwing the ball deep. And that's going to get them in good field position.
Arguably the best catch of the game. The only reason I say arguably is because there was another great catch on the other side of the ball. That one got called back. But that one, for sure, was a highlight play, a great catch by Higgins.
All right, let's take a look and see what's coming up next. Big goal line stand right here for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, and I mentioned after this one, maybe hand the ball off to a big boy. Give the fullback some love. Let him try to get it in there, but instead the quarterback keeper, he's kind of a smaller quarterback, and so having him get in there, that's going to be a tall task, and he's not able to get past the big boys on the defensive line. Great stand by the Choctaw defense.
Del City then holds Choctaw deep in territory right after that play right there. And 4th and short, you can see they have to retreat and punt the football, and it didn't work out so well for Choctaw.
Yeah, and I was talking about what I was thinking was going to go on in that play, thinking about the different possibilities. I didn't even think a high snap out of the back of the end zone was a possibility, but it happens.
It happened, and that's where we are right now with Del City on top of Choctaw. It's your GigaBlast halftime show. Dylan and I will dig up some of the scores from games that are going on across the state. 14-7 here, Del City on top of Choctaw. It's your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. It's game time, and we'll be back.
Look, if you're not the lead dog, the scenery never changes. That's why this is the view for every other full-size pickup. And this year, it's deja vu all over again. Because only the Ford F-150 gives you best-in-class torque, best-in-class payload, and you got it, baby, best-in-class towing. This is the big dog. This is the Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
Now get 0% financing for 72 months on a new 2018 F-150 at your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
You may have heard of Tulsa Tech, but did you know we offer business and industry training for large and small companies? Come get trained and certified in areas like confined space, HAZWOPER, crane rigging, CPR, first responder, and more. To learn more about our affordable and customized training and how Tulsa Tech can be a valuable resource to your company, call 918-828-5000 or visit us online at tulsatech.edu.
No one thinks about their water heater until it fails.
At that point, you have a huge mess on your hands with water damage everywhere.
A planned water heater replacement can save you a lot of trouble.
Right now, you can save big on a new high-efficiency water heater.
Call Airco Service,
the company you know.
Good morning, Bella.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
Yeah. 5 little monkeys.
Yay, Bella!
Hold still. Almost done.
Oh, Bella, I really love playing with you.
Thanks, Grandma. I really like our visits.
Whatever tech tomorrow dreams up, you'll be ready with GigaBlast. Future speed internet is here from Cox.
WEOKIE's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a WEOKIE 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at WEOKIE and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact WEOKIE for details.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Welcome back, everybody, to your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. Our score right now, 14-7, Del City on top of the Choctaw Yellow Jackets. We're at halftime. It's your GigaBlast halftime show, and Dylan Rivera is here with some score updates from across the state. Dylan?
Yeah, right now, Tuttle at Tecumseh, 10-6. Tuttle is up, and that one is in the fourth quarter right now, so that one got an early start. Bishop Kelly is at Nathan Hale, and that one is a stomping of a win right now for Bishop Kelly, 42-0, and they are in the third quarter. Keeping it over there on that east side is Owasso at Union. That's 6A. Union is up 14-0 at halftime, and so that one plays pretty interestingly. We'll be broadcasting Union here in a few weeks, I'd imagine.
Right.
And then we have As you scroll down the handy-dandy Squirtle app, we got Oologah at Cleveland. Cleveland is 3-0, Oologah 0-3. Yet the score right now, Cleveland only up by 3, 17-14 in the second quarter. And then finally, I'll announce that East Central is at Tulsa Memorial, and Tulsa Memorial is up. Actually, they finished that game. Tulsa Memorial won 48-6.
Wow, okay. Some of the scores from last night, as we mentioned, your alma mater, Broken Arrow, victorious over Jenks, 28-13. Did they beat Jenks while you were in school there? That would be a no.
I don't think so.
You would have remembered it.
Yeah, I feel like I would have remembered it. I don't think we did.
All right, Edmond Santa Fe last night defeated Edmond Memorial 42-7. It was Midwest City 56, Lawton 45. Norman North got their first win of the season as they beat Mustang 17-6. PC West over Putnam City 23-0. It was Stillwater 49 and Deer Creek 28. Also in 6A2, Tulsa Washington beat Bartlesville 43-7, and Yukon topped Norman 14-7. Yukon still unbeaten. They and Edmond Santa Fe, the only West Side schools in Class 6A, still undefeated. Other scores from around the state of Oklahoma. We told you about McGinnis beating Northwest last night, 56-0. Bethany over Blanchard. Big game there in Class 4A. Number 8 takes down number 3. Bethany 24, Blanchard 13. Chickasha beat Elk City 49-19. The final there. Clinton 53, Newcastle 13. And as I look down throughout the rest of the scores, in Class 3A, Heritage Hall 34, Mount St. Mary 2. And that should pretty well get everybody caught up on some of the scores from tonight and from last night as well. Here, it's Del City on top of Choctaw. We're at halftime. It's your Gigablast from Cox halftime show. We'll take a timeout and continue with more with Del City on top, leading it by 7.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Good morning, Bella.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
Yeah. 5 little monkeys.
Yay, Bella!
Hold still. Almost done.
Oh, Bella, I really love playing with you.
Thanks, Grandma. I really like our visits.
Whatever tech tomorrow dreams up, you'll be ready with GigaBlast. Future speed internet is here from Cox.
Are you looking for a career where you can work anywhere and even travel the world? Do you have a passion to work with people, plan events, or own your own restaurant? Tulsa Tech can help you build a successful career with exciting hospitality programs. Programs like culinary arts, restaurant and lodging management, and event planning. Make your own path to a successful career you love by calling Tulsa Tech at 918-828-5000 or apply online at tulsatech.edu.
No one thinks about their water heater until it fails.
At that point, you have a huge mess on your hands with water damage everywhere.
A planned water heater replacement can save you a lot of trouble.
Right now, you can save big on a new high-efficiency water heater.
Call Airco Service,
the company you know.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand.
We're gonna kayak, mountain bike, rock climb, zip line.
First, let's get out of the city.
Yeah. Oh, then hang glide.
Oh, you're on your own.
Keep your adventure on track with Ford, the brand with the most J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards. Now during Ford SUV season, get 0% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today. During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
WEOKIE's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a WEOKIE 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at WEOKIE and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact WEOKIE for details.
Good morning, Bella.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
Yeah. 5 little monkeys.
Yay, Bella!
Hold still. Almost done.
Oh, Bella, I really love playing with you.
Thanks, Grandma. I really like our visits.
Whatever tech tomorrow dreams up, you'll be ready with GigaBlast. Future speed internet is here from Cox.
Are you looking for a career where you can work anywhere and even travel the world? Do you have a passion to work with people, plan events, or own your own restaurant? Tulsa Tech can help you build a successful career with exciting hospitality programs. Programs like culinary arts, restaurant and lodging management, and event planning. Make your own path to a successful career you love by calling Tulsa Tech at 918-828-5000 or apply online at tulsatech.edu.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
No one thinks about their water heater until it fails.
At that point, you have a huge mess on your hands with water damage everywhere.
A planned water heater replacement can save you a lot of trouble.
Right now, you can save big on a new high-efficiency water heater.
Call Airco Service,
the company you know.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand.
We're gonna kayak, mountain bike, rock climb, zip line.
First, let's get out of the city.
Yeah. Oh, then hang gliding.
Oh, you're on your own.
Keep your adventure on track with Ford, the brand with the most J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards. Now during Ford SUV season, get 0% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
And welcome back, everybody, to Calsu Stadium in Del City. We get ready for second half action. Del City on top, leading it by a score of 14-7. They got their first touchdown at the 4:13 mark in that first quarter of play. Jack Foreman on a 27-yard pass from the quarterback Jacoby Smith. The kick was errant, so it did not go through, and that left Del City on top 6-0. Choctaw answered back not 3 minutes later as Gabe Johnson caught the 79-yard touchdown pass from Thad Williams. That kick was good, and Choctaw held the lead at that point in time at 7-6. Second quarter action with 9:55 left to go before halftime. It was Kobe Higgins on a 34-yard touchdown pass, again from the quarterback Jacoby Smith. The run failed, and it was 12-7, Del City on top. And then with a minute 38 left to go before halftime, deep in their own territory, Choctaw in punt formation. The snap goes over the punter's head through the end zone, so a safety ensued. That gave Del City 2 more points, and that's where we stand right now, 14-7. Dylan Rivera's alongside. What are you looking for in the second half, Dylan?
Well, definitely going to have to clean up the penalties a lot. We've seen a lot of offensive penalties, not a lot of defensive. It's mainly just been, simple false starts or illegal procedures, different stuff like that. Things that are definitely fixable through a little bit of halftime chat. You see those pick up. You see those get in line. That's something that I'm looking for. And then, of course, going to need some more offense on the ground. We've seen both teams kind of stray away from the run game per se, because a lot of the production is coming through the air. Del City has been very productive through the air. We've seen them get a couple of touchdowns off of passes from Jacoby Smith. But Choctaw also on the other side of the coin has had a great job getting a connection between their quarterback Thad Williams and wide receiver Gabe Johnson. And so definitely going to need to see both teams try to get some more yardage on the ground. But as far as defensively, both teams have been playing pretty well, doing a great job from play to play, keeping it highly competitive, and we'll see if they can come out of the gates and keep that same energy as they had in the first half and finish out this game. We'll see who comes out on top.
Yeah, as we mentioned, the schedule and the district kind of has a look to it as though we know who is going to finish 1 and 2. That's Midwest City and Lawton High. Those two met last night with Midwest City winning that ball game 56-45. That would then lead Stillwater, who was kind of a prohibitive pick, to finish 3rd in the district, and then these two teams either 4th or 5th, meaning one's going to get into postseason play and the other would not. So this is a very important game. And as we look at the schedule for these two clubs on how the schedule weighs out, we told you about Del City earlier. They've got the toughest part of their schedule after tonight's ball game. Weeks 8, 9, and 10, they play Midwest City, Lawton, and Stillwater, the three teams that were projected 1, 2, and 3 inside of this district. For Choctaw's part, they will get Stillwater in week number 6. They will then play Lawton High in week number 8, and then Midwest City in week number 9. So you've got this big mashup here tonight, and then both teams kind of get to recover a little bit with some of the easier teams on the schedule. You can never, of course, count those games as just automatic wins, but you take on a Putnam West who certainly has improved their football program over the last couple of years. You know that Deer Creek is going to get better and better each week, and Putnam City as well. But Midwest City, Lawton, Stillwater, those are still down the road for both of these teams, especially for Del City, who won't see them until the final 3 weeks of the season. So that kind of lays it out and tells you what's on the line here in this second half of play. Obviously, if you're either one of these teams, you want to come out with a big win here tonight and have the upper hand. So Del City will kick it off to begin the second half of play. The Eagles with that 14-7 lead. There were quite a few penalties in that first half of play, and without an official stat keeper, I would guess that more of those penalty yardage was called against Del City than it was against Choctaw, so I'm sure that's something that they talked about. Choctaw had the one big pass play where the guy actually dribbled it for a couple 5 yards before picking it up and running it into the end zone. That was the only time that Choctaw was able to put points on the scoreboard. Here's the kickoff to start the second half. Nice return out across the 40-yard line, now to midfield. Finally run out of bounds, but not until he gets into Del City territory. Take a look and see exactly where they say he went out of bounds. Looks like it's going to be about the 45-yard line in Del City territory. 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets.
A great return by Gabe Johnson. That was off the bounce, and that's one thing that's a little bit harder to do is you got to find it while you're running. And, those bounces we talked about earlier, the bounce of that football, you can never predict it. It can go anywhere. Able to catch it off the bounce, take off, and get some good yardage on the return.
So let's see how this second half begins and how it plays out. Yellow Jackets have possession for the first go-round. Quarterback Thad Williams with a nice long touchdown pass. Never really got the running game going too much. And here's a handoff to number 8, Deshaun Moore. And Moore is going to get dropped behind the line of scrimmage. One of the tacklers in there for Del City, number 57, is Callio Bagby.
Well, and as I mentioned, right as we came out of the halftime break, I'd like to see both teams kind of pick up their production on the ground and kind of make this a game where it's not just passing the whole time. I mean, yeah, passing is fun to watch, but when you see ground and pound football, that can be fun to watch too, but neither team really successful running the football.
5 receivers in the formation. The pass to the left side is mishandled, dropped. Incomplete, the pass, as he was trying to hook up there with number 11, Zane Coleman. He's the leading receiver for Choctaw, but I don't believe he's caught a pass yet tonight.
Yeah, not to my memory. I don't think he has. I think the big target has been Gabe Johnson, and Thad Williams has fallen in love with finding Gabe Johnson wide open.
So 3rd down and 12 now for the Jackets. Fake the running play and then throw the comeback route. Nowhere close once again, looking for Coleman. No flag on the play, and that'll bring up a 4th down. Not a very successful first possession for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, not what you want after you get yourself some great field position starting around the 45-yard line. Not even getting past that 45-yard line. That's got to be frustrating for Choctaw. And now we'll look at a punting situation, and Del City will get their first possession of the second half.
Remember their last punt situation, the snap sailed over the punter's head and through the end zone for a safety. And this time barely gets the kick away. It must have been partially deflected or blocked. Now it's picked up by Del City. They're going to get it across midfield to about the 47-yard line. Didn't really see if somebody got a hand on the kick. It certainly seemed that way for the result of the kick. And Del City's going to start with the football in Choctaw territory at the 48-yard line.
Well, the big thing I'd like to see Del City come out and do in this second half is really see a change in that relationship between center and quarterback. Jacoby Smith, just a sophomore. We'll see if maybe they can kind of come out of the break maybe a little bit more in tune with each other. As we saw a lot of times off of snaps, not even just in the shotgun, but even right under center, kind of went off to the side or too high or too low and mishandled.
All right, well, the timeout on the field. Somebody didn't like what they saw. We're going to take a timeout as well. Just underway here in the second half with Del City on top, leading it by 7.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Well, they got it figured out, whatever it is. Del City on the attack now with the ball at the Choctaw 48-yard line, running play. And that is going nowhere. Another fine defensive play. Coming up and making the stop is Jeloni Thayer, number 50. And he's going to drop him for a loss of about 3, close to 4 yards on that play. Choctaw's defense has played very well against the run, but not as well against the pass. Credit a lot of that to the fact that they've got 3 very good targets on that Del City team.
Absolutely, and I think Jacoby Smith hasn't made. He's got some easy targets. Just kind of throw it up in their zone, and they'll probably pull it in. There you see our first reception from number 1, Leisinger.
So his first catch of the night. Smith finds him for a short gain on the play. It's going to be a gain of about 1 yard, as it turns out. Spot the ball right at the 47-yard line. Just underway here in the second half. Game time on YurView. Steve Marshall, Dylan Rivera, Mark Jeffries, and the rest of the crew. Happy to bring you all the action tonight from Bob Kalsu Stadium here in Del City. Jackets show the blitz, and going down is Smith. Nowhere to go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Yeah, great rush from Blake Muse to get onto the quarterback. Seemed like he was just a little bit too far away, and then makes that second effort and kind of turns it up into another gear and gets to the quarterback, brings him down way back in the backfield. And now we'll see what Del City can do with this deck of cards.
Looks like they're going to drop back into punt formation now. As that series, they just kept going backwards. Runs up, has to get the kick away, does so just in time. Sails out of bounds. Now let's see exactly where they're going to say it went out. And should be pretty good field position for the Jackets.
What's our schedule look like for the upcoming weeks, Steve? Who do we broadcast next week?
The upcoming game that we have next week, is that the Union Mustang game next week?
I think it is.
I think you are correct. Yes, it is. It will be Union at Mustang. That will be a Friday contest that we will have here. And Union, of course, in action tonight against Owasso. We'll keep you updated on that score as we get closer towards the end of that game and this game as well. Running play to the left side. Nowhere to go there. So both teams appear to have made some adjustments defensively because nobody's been able to do much on the few offensive plays that the opposition has run so far here in this second half of play.
Yeah, those defenses have definitely come out in the second half with a little bit of a fire underneath them. Seen a lot of good stops, a lot of good plays. Not a lot of yardage gain, that's for sure. We saw Del City backtrack quite a bit, and now Choctaw not able to get off the start line.
Running play after a loss of a yard on the previous play. That's going to be a gain of about 3. They do get into Del City territory. Stop there at the 48-yard line, and that will bring up a third down and a good 8 yards to go for Choctaw. And it rained all day, and it rained buckets. So thankful that it did let up, at least for tonight, and also thankful that they switched to a artificial surface. Not sure how long ago that was, but you know, a lot of those smaller schools, of course, they don't have that luxury. Here's a complete pass to the far side. Going to pick up about 4 yards, but hit well short of the first down yardage, right at the 45-yard line. And that'll bring up 4th down and 5 for Choctaw. See what they want to do with the play call here.
Yeah, and it's been raining all day, and it got windier as the day went on too. Right. It seemed like the wind really picked up, and I mean, even just in the evening time, it seemed like it was pretty rough out there. So I don't know if it's any different out in Del City or not, but I know here in the Norman Moore area, it's still pretty windy.
And cooler, a lot cooler as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Pass to the near side caught. That's Zane Coleman. He spins and is able to get just a yard, 2 at the most. And that means that they were able to hold, and Del City will take over. So defense is having the best of it here in the early moments of this second half. Neither team really able to move the ball much, even though both teams have had pretty good field position.
Well, now that one seemed like an odd play call to me. I'm not sure why with 4th and 5 you'd want to go with a screen pass to the short side of the field. That seems kind of odd, for a play call there. But nonetheless, it was 4th down either way, so even if they had gained just a yard or 2 off of it, it didn't matter. It's Del City football.
Never did understand going to the short side of the field, but obviously coaches throughout the years, they have their reasons for it. Here's a running play, trying to get back to the middle of the field, and can't do that. Actually, a loss of a yard on the play. So the defenses have settled in, and it looks like we're going to play smash mouth football the second half. Spot the ball at the 44-yard line. 2 receivers to the top of the screen. Foreman is the farthest out to the right as Smith rolls right, keeps it, picks up a couple of yards. He's going to be about 5 yards shy of the necessary yardage for the first down. Choctaw initially acting as though they fumbled, but they're just fired up that they're making good plays and good tackles on defense.
Yeah, I think that defense is really fired up. They're starting to bring Del City's offense to a halt. We saw them in the first half be very successful moving the football. Sometimes not coming up with points on the board, but definitely moving the ball fairly well, usually getting a couple of first downs every possession. Now we've seen them kind of stall out, and this defense is really making a big stand here in the second half so far.
3rd down and 5 for the Eagles. Jacoby Smith has already thrown 2 touchdown passes for the Eagles. Drops to throw, flushed out of the pocket, slips away. Nice move, gets the first down yardage, streaks ahead inside the 35 to about the 31-yard line. That was a pretty nifty run there by Jacoby Smith as he showed his athleticism there.
Yeah, great run by a sophomore quarterback there, scrambling out of the pocket, kind of showed the football there, and that was a great fake right there. You kind of show the football, make them think you're passing it. That kind of hesitation there makes the defense slow down on attacking you, and then all of a sudden you just turn on the jets and you've got yourself a first down.
Eagles moving the football from the 30-yard line in Choctaw territory. Run up the middle, first down and then some. Into the secondary and into the end zone. Yes, touchdown, Eagles. Nice run by number 3. That's L.J. Brown.
Well, and there's that ground game that I've been wanting to see, and there it is, L.J. Brown into the end zone. Nonetheless, that was a great screen by the ref here. You see that? Great block. And there you see a touchdown for L.J. Brown. Brings Del City's total up to 20, but I can't guarantee them they're getting this PAT because 2 out of their 2 attempts have come up with 0 points. So we'll see if maybe they can actually get something up here.
They've extended it now to a 20-7 lead. They'll go for the 2 once again. Smith rolling, going to throw to the far corner. You would think that would be an easy play in a lot of situations. They do complete that as they get it to, I believe it was one of the Foremans.
That's Jeff Foreman. A great catch by the future Red Wolf. And he's been a top target for Del City so far this season. And right there, you see why. Another great catch by him. Way to go upstairs and go get that one with defense all over him.
So 22-7 is our score after the touchdown for the Eagles. 4:38 left to go here in this third quarter of play. Obviously still a 2-possession game here, but Del City has had the best of it, and I think the key play on that drive to me, Dylan, was the scramble by the quarterback, able to get necessary yardage and get a nice gain and get them into scoring position.
Well, and that doesn't even mention that was on a 3rd down. That was like 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. That he was able to create space, get himself into the secondary, and get some good yardage for a first down.
Here's the nice run that set up the touchdown. And Jacoby Smith, you watch it from here, Dylan.
Yeah, he does a great job of reading the defense, seeing right there. His offensive lineman was beaten right there, right about the line of scrimmage. He shows the ball almost like he's getting ready to pop it outside to a receiver, and that linebacker kind of hesitates for a second, thinking he's going to jump up and block that pass. Instead, tucks it underneath, takes off down the field.
I thought he was going to be dropped for a loss on the play. It looked like one of the Yellow Jackets had him behind the line of scrimmage, but unable to bring him down, and that's going to be something that they have to watch for.
He's a very elusive quarterback, for sure.
He really is. Getting to see the best of him this evening. Eagles ready to kick it away with a 15-point lead on top of Choctaw. Kick goes back to the 22-yard line. Jackets trying to get some good field position out of this. And they get it across the 40 to about the 41-yard line, and that's where Choctaw will put it in play. Still a lot of time to go, but Choctaw's going to have to show some semblance of some offensive output, firepower, if you will, if they're going to get back in this contest. There is a flag down on the play. I kind of thought it looked like everybody kind of backed off a little bit on that play. The return man, the tacklers all at once, and
yeah, there was one tackler that ran all the way up to him, it seemed like, and then almost like stopped right next to him. A little odd. I just thought it was kind of funny the way he got tackled. It reminded me of like a little kid that doesn't want you to leave, just kind of hug the leg. That's what he was doing, just kind of hugging the leg.
So we'll wait and see what the call is. Apparently against Choctaw. And they're going to move it all the way back. They're going to spot it there at the 28-yard line for the Yellow Jackets. You have to be impressed with Del City's offense, but defense has played extremely well also. The one long pass play has been really all that Choctaw can hang their hat on to this point in the ball game.
Well, and this is still obviously a quarter and a half here to go of football, a quarter and maybe a third of football here to play. But if Del City can hold Choctaw to a touchdown, it'll be the third of the first 4 games that they've held the opposing team to only 1 touchdown.
Short gain on the play, spot the ball at the 29-yard line. You see Zane Coleman, their leading receiver, top of your screen there, number 11. They're going to send 2 men out to the near side of the field. That's Caden Young and also Deshaun Moore. Empty backfield. Quarterback Williams dropping the throw, fires one over the middle. That pass is caught wide open. There's nobody back there to try and stop him. They'll catch him from behind, but still fighting forward is Caden Young, and there's the big play that Choctaw was looking for.
Obviously, the safety had his eyes underneath, looking at the wrong receiver, as obviously number 5 is able to get behind him. That's number 5 for Choctaw, Caden Young, as you mentioned. He's able to blow past the secondary, find a spot wide open along the sideline. An easy pass play for the Yellow Jackets. There you see number 4 kind of stopping there in coverage. That's Kyshawn Murray. Kind of stops for a second, looks down at that underneath route thinking he's going to come in and make that hit. Just sneaks behind him. Caden Young goes for big yardage.
Williams on the keeper, look for somebody again to show the play action fake. At least there was nobody in the backfield with him. Keeps it and is able to pick up some nice yardage inside the 10. Finally spotted down at about the 5-yard line.
You know, one thing I think is interesting so far this game, we haven't seen a lot from Zane Coleman. He's been listed kind of as that star wideout for Choctaw, but really it's been everybody else that's been doing the work tonight.
Credit Del City, if you will. They've taken him out of the game. They're going to throw a flag there, and that was kind of your quote-unquote incidental contact, but penalty nonetheless.
Well, that's kind of like in basketball. You put your hands up in the air and you're straight up, but when you still body bump him, You're still going to knock him off course, and right there, that's what he's going to get called for. It's just kind of like that chest bump that knocked him off course.
Take a look at the play once again. He's open, calling for the football. Yeah, there's no doubt. He tried to run through him. Probably didn't realize he was that close to the receiver. As it turns out, penalty. And that'll give Choctaw a first down and goal from about the 3-yard line. Empty backfield behind the quarterback. Thad Williams. Motion to the far side. Williams going to throw that way. Receiver is wide open, and he walks into the end zone. Gabe Johnson. And the Yellow Jackets answer right back with a touchdown of their own.
And as I mentioned earlier, we've seen everybody except for Zane Coleman really get in the game. Gabe Johnson has been the story of the game. That dude is lighting up the Del City defense. I mean, he's been able to find holes all over the field. A great pass by Williams, just that screen route. Gets past that defensive end who really was just maybe a couple of inches from batting that pass down. Gets it outside. Touchdown play for Choctaw.
Extra point attempt on the way. Snap back, ball down, kick is up, and it just does make its way through. It is good. And so with 3:07 left to go in our third quarter, we got ourselves a ball game. Del City on top of Choctaw, 22-14 our score on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
Are you looking to build a career in the high-demand and high-paying field of construction? What are you waiting for? Tulsa Tech offers affordable, hands-on training in state-of-the-art facilities. Great training that can give you confidence. Get trained in fields like carpentry, electricity, HVAC, masonry, and welding. To learn how Tulsa Tech can help you make your own path to a successful career, call 918-828-5000 or visit tulsatech.edu.
Well, the Yellow Jackets answered back. We wondered if they would, and they did, and it didn't take them very long to do so. As Johnson finds the end zone, the extra point is good. Still a one-possession ball game. Del City on top, leading at 22-14. Still 2:46 left to go. We're in the third quarter of play. A little better game than what we had last week.
Yeah, absolutely. If you were with us for last week's game, you saw how rough that one was. It was pretty interesting to call it, but definitely not your greatest game to ever watch.
So Choctaw standing over it. Going to kick it to the far side of the field and going to put it out of bounds. And not really an effort to try to make sure that it, or try to make it look as though they were going to kick it to anybody, and they didn't want to deal with the athleticism of Del City return players, and so they just kick it out of bounds. And Del City will take over at their own 35-yard line.
Well, I certainly hope that was on purpose that they kicked it out of bounds.
I don't know what other explanation you would have for that.
I mean, if it wasn't on purpose, somebody's going to have a stern talking to on the sideline from the special teams coordinator.
Or open competition for a new kicker.
Yeah, absolutely. Get one of the soccer kids to come in and do it. That's what they always did in high school.
Oh, yeah.
Pull one of the soccer kids in.
All right, so the Eagles on top by 8. 2:46 left to go, third quarter. Smith with a handoff, but a flag comes out. Said I was going to do it last week and check, the day after, tomorrow morning, to see how many penalties were called in the game, because we've had quite a few here in this contest. It's going to be an illegal procedure call, 5 yards against the Del City Eagles. Will set up now a 1st and 15.
I think we might as well just every week start keeping a penalty count. Now we have our own count of it.
Okay, I'm going to put you in charge of that, all right?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Starting next week.
So 1st and 15 for the Eagles. Smith, handoff, straight ahead, big hole up the middle. Running room and then some. First down all the way into Choctaw territory. Finally taken down at about the 48, 49-yard line. Just a huge hole up the middle.
Yeah, a great run from L.J. Brown. We've really seen that pick up here in the second half, and maybe that's going to be the key to Del City holding on to this lead, is running the football, actually. I mentioned earlier on that I'd like to see both teams kind of put it on the ground more, hand it off to that running back and let him get some work here in this second half. And there you see L.J. Brown, another good run, and he did a great job earlier getting into the end zone. Now you see another good run from him.
Snap goes between the quarterback's legs. He's in big trouble there, and he's going to go down. So after a good play, a bad play results for Del City. That's going to be a loss of about 8-9 yards on the play. Line of scrimmage was the 49 inside Choctaw territory. So actually a 9-yard loss as they'll spot it at the 42 back in Del City territory.
Well, we saw a rough connection between Ty Gilbert and, or not Ty Gilbert, that's on Choctaw's roster. Number 79, Tyler Morrow, and Jacoby Smith in the first half. But now in this second half, I mean, so far we haven't seen much of a problem up until that one play. That was the first snap that's been errant.
Smith again shows his elusiveness, gets around the corners, somehow turns it into a big gain when it looked like there was nothing there several times, and now another flag comes out. Del City players don't like it, so apparently it's going to be against the Eagles on the far side of the field.
Yeah, it looked like a big block over there on that sideline. Couldn't quite tell who was blocked and who set the block.
One of the Jackets is down on the far side, and we'll take a look at the replay.
Yeah, definitely a big block. Looked like it might have been one of the Foreman brothers. I can't really tell, but coming from that far side, just wallops number 38 right there.
Holy wow. Yeah, got him pretty good there. Looked like it was number 38 for Choctaw. That would be Brian Hunt. And he may not get up from that one for a little while yet, because he was hit pretty hard, again blindsided. It looks like they may be looking at him for a while. We'll take a timeout and hope for the best here for Mr. Hunt on the far side. 22-14 our score, Del City on top.
Look, if you're not the lead dog, the scenery never changes. That's why this is the view for every other full-size pickup. And this year, it's deja vu all over again. Because only the Ford F-150 gives you best-in-class torque, best-in-class payload, and you got it, baby, best-in-class towing. This is the big dog. This is the Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
Now get 0% financing for 72 months on a new 2018 F-150 at your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Well, the injured player for Choctaw, and I believe I got the identification right on that. I believe it was number 38, Brian Hunt. And he was following the ball carrier downfield. Here, you'll watch it again. Watch 38 in white. And he takes a shot, blindside block. Never saw it coming. And that was a big hit.
Yeah, I want to say it was Jeff Foreman on the block. I may be wrong on that. It might have been Jack Foreman, but I just see a 1 and a lengthy wide receiver coming in.
So now the line of scrimmage is all the way back at the 39-yard line in Del City territory. So they've got a long way to go on this one. Jacoby Smith at the quarterback spot, takes the low snap, tries to get out of trouble, and he's not going to get away this time. As the defense is there. Coming up and making the tackle, among others, number 12 for Choctaw, that is Cole Smith, outside linebacker. As he was able to come away with one of the towels and then just chucked it downfield.
Yeah, it reminds me of last night with the Browns and Jets. A couple of the offensive linemen were getting into it, and Jamal Adams of the Jets just grabbed his towel, the Browns offensive lineman's towel, and just chucked it down the field.
So we're winding down the final seconds here in this third quarter of play. Screen pass. Able to skip away from one tackle, but not the next. That's the thing with these talented Del City receivers. If they break a tackle or two, you're going to have a 5-yard gain turn into a 55-yard gain in some cases. But a good job by Choctaw making the tackle there, making sure that he didn't get away. And now we've got another penalty. Personal foul called against Choctaw.
Looked like roughing the passer, I guess. Somebody hit Jacoby Smith a little late. And so a lot of extra yardage gained there by the Eagles.
Yeah, I think both teams have had enough of each other, so this is not going to get any friendlier, I got the feeling.
Well, yeah, one more quarter of play to go. We'll see if maybe we can get out of this without a fight.
Jacoby Smith walks up to the line of scrimmage, shouts the instructions, gets the guys set on offense. And here we go. And now we don't go, and we're going to take a timeout instead. Final seconds of this third quarter. It's still anybody's ball game. Del City on top by 8 when we return.
Are you looking to build a career in the high-demand and high-paying field of construction? What are you waiting for? Tulsa Tech offers affordable, hands-on training in state-of-the-art facilities. Great training that can give you confidence. Get trained in fields like carpentry, electricity, HVAC, masonry, and welding. To learn how Tulsa Tech can help you make your own path to a successful career, call 918-828-5000 or visit tulsatech.edu.
Back at Del City, Steve Marshall and Dylan Rivera bringing you the action tonight. Del City on top. They have the football at the Choctaw 48-yard line. We're down to maybe the final play or two in this third quarter. It's been a good game. Biggest lead of the contest was just a while ago when Del City was up by 15, but Choctaw answered back on the touchdown pass to Gabe Johnson. And we're back at a one-possession ball game. Handoff here. Give it to L.J. Brown. He goes forward to about the 44-yard line. And again, a lot of stuff going on after the plays. Number 67 for Del City has his helmet taken off. Kobe Shawver.
Yeah, 67-49. We're still going at it well after the whistle. We've had a lot of extracurricular here in the third quarter, but third quarter comes to a close, and maybe these guys will play nice for the fourth quarter, right?
I somehow doubt it, but we will.
Look optimistically.
We will head to the fourth quarter. Del City on top of Choctaw. It's your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. We'll be right back.
Look, if you're not the lead dog, the scenery never changes. That's why this is the view for every other full-size pickup. And this year, it's deja vu all over again. Because only the Ford F-150 gives you best-in-class torque, best-in-class payload, and you got it, baby, best-in-class towing. This is the big dog. This is the Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
Now get 0% financing for 72 months on a new 2018 F-150 at your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Well, the rain is falling once again here in Del City as we get ready for the fourth quarter of play. Del City will be going left to right now. They're going to spot the ball at the 46-yard line. Still anybody's ball game. Del City scored the first touchdown of the game but missed the extra point. Choctaw answered, and they made their extra point. So that's the only time that Choctaw led was 7-6. With 1:15 left to go in that first quarter. Del City scored the only points in that second quarter on a pair of touchdowns, but failed on both of the extra point attempts. Led it 14-7 at the half. Del City went up 22-7. Choctaw scored, made it 22-14, and that's where we sit right now as we get ready to start the fourth and final quarter of play.
Well, I think this is a big possession for Del City. I think if they score here, it'll definitely get them a huge step closer to a win.
Pass off the fingertips of the intended wide receiver falls incomplete.
I just think if they don't end up getting the score here, it's a one-possession game. Choctaw could take quite a bit off the clock and then maybe go down and get touchdown, 2-point conversion. Now you're looking at a tie game with maybe, 4 or 5 minutes left, and Del City's going to have to try to figure out how to score that quickly.
Del City came out early in the ball game and they were lickety-split to the line of scrimmage and really trying to move as quickly as possible. They have changed direction on that, now a little more deliberate in their approach. Nearly intercepted, coming up, making a nice play defensively. Number 34, that is Jack Funderburg. Inside linebacker, jumping in front of that pass, knocking it down, incomplete. That'll bring up a fourth down for Del City. And a punting situation.
I got a nickname for him. If Choctaw, if you guys are watching this later on in the week as your film study, call him Thunderbird. I like that better. You can get a bolt tattooed on his shoulder.
Absolutely. So an apparent punting situation, and the snaps to center have been a bit of an issue for both squads tonight. High snap, able to get it away, left-footed kick. Going to take a good Del City bounce and continues to roll inside the 5 all the way down to the 3-yard line, maybe the 2.
That was a great punt. Excellent spot.
Form-wise, that's not the thing of beauty that you would be looking for, but hey, result-wise, absolutely.
Well, and it's what's kind of odd about it is the fact that throughout most of the game, none of his punts have really been all that spectacular, nothing to talk about. I mean, most of the time they've been kind of short, if we're being honest. And that one just took a great bounce. I mean, at the start it was great anyway. It was around the 10-yard line. It took the first bounce. Now it rolls and rolls and rolls, and now they're at the 3-yard line or so, maybe the 4, to start off this possession.
Thad Williams, the quarterback, stands deep into the end zone, empty backfield. Throw it out to the far side here, trying to hook up on a little wide receiver screen with number 4, Corey Williams, incomplete. This is where they got in trouble earlier when they didn't get out of the outside the 5-yard line, had to go back and punt formation, and the snap sailed over the punter's head. Obviously not thinking about that now, trying to work their way forward and get enough for a first down, continue a long drive. Williams quarterback draw, straight ahead, gets maybe 2 yards at the most, out to about the 4.
Yeah, maybe only about a half a yard there. Sets him up with a long third down, maybe 3rd and 9 or so. And backs up against the wall. They're going to have to come up with something here. Positive yardage for sure, because you don't want to, have a mirrored image of that last time they were down here.
Williams discusses things with his wide receivers, again running the empty backfield. 4 down linemen for the Eagles. Linebacker creeping in from the far side. They send 5. Here comes the pass. Push off by Zane Coleman. Del City, you can see, wanting the call there. I don't see that there was a call, but nonetheless, that'll be a 4th down situation, punting situation, again from deep in their own end zone, with the punter having to stand in the end zone, probably a good 5 yards into the end zone. So good job defensively by the Eagles, as they do not let Choctaw get out of the shadow of their own goal line.
Well, I think Higgins has been on Coleman most of the night in coverage. Done a great job of keeping him quiet tonight.
Good snap this time. Punt is away without a hitch. Takes a strong Choctaw bounce this time, and that's going to roll out across the 45 to about the 46-yard line. So a good 40-yard punt, and Del City will go back to work on offense, looking to get a score to make this a 2-possession ball game. Still 10.5 minutes left to play.
The punt is down by Choctaw at 46.
It's hard to believe we're already to week 4 of the high school football season. We'll be halfway through the regular season next week.
Well, this is our 5th broadcast because we had week 0 too. So week 5 in our minds, week 4 on the scoreboards.
As Dylan mentioned, we will have Union and Mustang next week as East meets West. Mustang for a while had been, between Mustang and Norman North, probably the 2 best schools on the west side of the state. Mustang maybe down a little bit here early in the season as far as that goes. Norman North definitely, even though they got their first win of the season last night, not quite the same team that they were, where they had made it to the finals and twice, I believe, since 2012.
Well, and Union's gotten off to a little bit of a clunky start so far this year, but obviously playing Owasso tonight. Last time we checked on the score, they had the lead, and I'm trying to load up the scores now and see if maybe I can get an update for us.
Yeah, those Big 4 schools all slug it out the first couple weeks of the season. Here's a long pass downfield. Incomplete. Trying to hook up with Jeff Foreman.
Yeah, well overthrown there, and that's maybe a little bit of that sophomore showing. You know, he obviously had a great play and maybe got a little bit antsy and just put a little bit too much mustard on that one.
So clock stopped with just under 10 minutes left to go here in the ball game. Del City leading it. Jacoby Smith, the quarterback, drops to throw, steps up, tries to run away and is unable to do so. He'll lose 2 yards on the carry. Give Choctaw a lot of credit defensively too, with all the athletes that Del City does have. At the quarterback spot, as you can see, Smith is a little gimpy as he gets up, and especially at the wide receiver position, that they've been able to contain them and hold them to 22 points, at least to this time.
Well, Smith looked like he was headed to the sideline. I don't know if he's staying on the field. I guess he is. He's still limping up to the line of scrimmage, though.
Kind of had the hot foot look there.
I guess it's 4th down, so they'll be punting anyway. Maybe we won't have to do too much.
Foreman takes the snap, gets the kick away. Left-footed kicker. Fielded right at about the 9-10 yard line, and that's where Choctaw will get it. Not ideal field position once again. So the defense doing a good job stopping Del City, but not getting any breaks as far as field position is concerned, as they'll start this drive right at the 10-yard line.
You know, for both of these teams, it's been a while since we've seen any real success out of them. I mean, 6-5 for the last 3 years for Del City, losing in the first round of the playoffs last year. I believe that was to Bishop McGuinness. And then haven't won a state title since 1976. It's been even longer for Choctaw. Choctaw hasn't won a state title since 1960.
Pass to the near side is incomplete. Trying to hook up there once again with Gabe Johnson. Yeah, I got to wonder what class were they in 1960, I wonder.
Oh, man. That's a good question.
Probably one of the smaller classes, I would think.
Absolutely. The one thing that you can look at as a big positive for Choctaw is the fact that they were 5-6 in 2015, 5-5 in 2016, then 6-4 last year. So seeing very slowly a one-game improvement. And so maybe this year, with that one-game improvement, they can get 7 wins on their record.
Pass to the near side is incomplete, trying to get it to Gabe Johnson once again. And apparently there's a flag somewhere with a discussion going on with the white hat. Although I don't see the laundry on the field. They're discussing something there.
Maybe they're just talking about dinner later.
Could be. So a legal procedure is the call against the Yellow Jackets. That's a dead ball foul. Otherwise you would have thought that maybe Del City would have declined that. And here we go, back to the action. Williams this time with some backfield help, some extra blockers in there, and hit immediately, driven back, taken into the end zone and tackled. Forward progress, they say, is going to get him out to about the 3-yard line, but nowhere to go.
Yeah, he was just swallowed up, couldn't even get past the line of scrimmage. 3 or 4 Eagles in the backfield in a hurry, and tough day for this Choctaw running back, number 4, that is Corey Williams. And he hasn't had a lot of production, hasn't had his numbers. It's just been a long day for him.
Dropping to throw from the end zone, nearly intercepted. 2 Eagles had a chance at it, as good a chance as Gabe Johnson did. And now a punting situation again for Choctaw from deep inside their own end zone. Their punter, Zane Coleman's going to have to be standing just at about the end line at the back of the end zone. There's a look at the replay and how close that was to being a pick 6.
Yeah, right in between 2 black jerseys. That's a dangerous throw. And, I mean, he had a receiver in the area at least, so it wasn't like it was just some wild throw, but obviously a little off target.
Snap is back. It's a low line drive kick. And somehow he's going to get it to roll out to about the 35-yard line, but Choctaw playing with fire right now as they are giving the ball to Del City time and time again inside their own territory. But the Eagles have been unable to answer, and credit the Choctaw defense. Big stand now because it is getting late.
Yeah, well, and on that punt, obviously you hope to pin him a little deeper than that. I think right there he got a little bit too much toe. When you punt the ball, you want it to hit your shoelaces, and that looked like he got a lot of toe, and so it just kind of spiraled short and kind of just rolled out to the 35, but first bounce was probably not much further than the 25.
All right, let's see what the Eagles can do here. Jacoby Smith, the quarterback, has had a good game. A couple of touchdown passes. Fakes the handoff, completes the pass to the outside, breaks a tackle, going to get a gain of 7 or perhaps 8 yards on the play. And there's Leisinger again. I think that's just the second catch of the ball game for him.
Yeah, but a good wealth of wide receivers. Don't really need a lot of production from just one, it seems like, with this roster. You've got both Foreman brothers, Leisinger, and even Kobe Higgins out there. All 4 of them very capable playmakers out on the outside, and so you can really hit any one of them and get a lot of good production at the end of the night.
Eagles not in a hurry now. They have an 8-point lead. They have the football, and the clock is down to just over 7 minutes left to go in the ball game. And now the referee is pointing towards the end zone at something. Not quite sure what exactly. Obviously, play is stopped, clock is stopped.
I'd imagine it's probably a clock issue. I believe there's a scoreboard down there. Maybe he's pointing at that scoreboard, the clock. Finally, have an update for you on that Owasso Union score. Union is up 21-0. That fourth quarter just started there at Union.
So Owasso, the state champion, beating Union in that finals last year. And Union got to sit and think about that all summer long, and they came out with a vengeance apparently in this game, in that game.
Yeah, what's kind of odd is both teams, obviously played in the state championship last year, come into this game 1-2. A little odd.
Yeah, how about that? Like we said, though, those big four schools in Tulsa all play each other seemingly within the first 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, we used to talk about that last year, how we always seemed like right off the bat we had the toughest of our schedule, and so we'd start out and maybe be 1-3 or something like that. And we were always like, we're fine because the next 5 games are wins. So you don't worry too much right off the bat. But at the same time, it's always kind of weird when you see those big schools with records like that.
All right, so the officials got everything back to their liking. We're set to go. You get a good look there at number 2, Jacoby Smith, the quarterback. Very slow approach, takes the snap. Obviously a quarterback run all the way, couple of nice moves, flag comes out. So hold everything, they'll stop the clock and we'll check the flag. Apparently it's going to be against Del City.
I can tell you one thing, he's not limping anymore.
Yeah.
A great quarterback keeper right there. Picks up some good yardage, and we'll see what the laundry's about, but I believe that was a good run, and we'll see if it's against Choctaw or if it's against Del City.
He has some moves, no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
Has some quick feet. It's against Del City. They'll mark it back at the 35-yard line.
And it makes it even tougher to stop this offense when you've got a quarterback that can also use his legs. You try to blitz him, he can create time for himself by scrambling out of the pocket a little bit, or even create some yardage for himself by running up the field and maybe getting 5-10 yards before he either takes himself out of bounds, slides, or even takes the hit.
Noticed he pulled up his pants on this play, so I wonder if that means he's going to run the ball.
That's a signal.
Wanted to make sure he had him on good and square and tight. He's ready to do something. Smith out of the shotgun. Takes the snap and, again, whistles blow. Hard to get a rhythm in this second half of play. It's going to go against Del City once again.
And I know for sure this offensive line coach is going to have a talk with his boys after this game. And he'll be working them a little extra in practice, I'd imagine. There's absolutely no reason for how many times they've been penalized in this game.
Yeah, it's not like it's week 1 or 2 anymore.
And not only that, but now you open up district play. You play Choctaw this week. As you mentioned, they get a couple of games, but then they start playing the real big teams. And so they're definitely going to have to shape up by the time those guys are taking the field with them.
Smith eludes the would-be tackler. Now he's going to get taken down on the play. Nice job there by big number 89 coming up, and that is Donnie Wingate again. That's a big loss all the way back to the 45-yard line.
Well, and this has been one of my biggest pet peeves. I've seen it in a couple of the games this year so far, is we've got quarterbacks who, to evade pressure, they're running backwards. And that's absolutely the worst thing you could do. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of open green area back there that can get you away from the defense. But that's not the way you want to go. You definitely want to run laterally, at least, if you're going to try to evade pressure. Because if you move backwards, you're just shooting yourself in the foot.
Leisinger and Foreman go top of your screen left. Smith, snap goes over his head. It's a loose football, and Choctaw is going to get on it inside the 35-yard line.
And that might just be the break that Choctaw needs. They've been trying to get something going here, but 2 possessions in a row pinned deep. Now you see a fumble, and maybe Choctaw can get something rolling here, get some points on the board, make this a tie ball game or at least a closer game, and put Del City up against the wall, as we've seen Del City make few too many mistakes here in this second half.
Well, you always say that the ball bounces funny ways, and just when you expected it to roll where he could have a chance at recovering it, he had no chance whatsoever. And Wingate was there, able to pounce on it, and now the Jackets, whose offense really hasn't done much in the second half, goes to work with great field position at the Del City 34-yard line. Williams takes the snap, running play, left side. He's got 3-4 yards down to the 30.
That was a Wildcat formation. Snap straight to a running back, Deshaun Moore, actually. Picks up a few yards there.
second down.
Trying a little something different, a little change of pace. Try to get Del City off their game because they have played very well defensively. See what they want to set up this time. And it looks as though they're going to run the same type formation.
That's still in the Wildcat, Deshaun Moore.
Straight ahead, left side, big hole, first down yardage inside the 20-yard line.
Well, 2 plays in the Wildcat and 2 successful runs. Why change it?
Yeah. Don't change it now. 2 of your better plays. And the offensive line has responded with a good job up front, opening up the holes for them. And now the referee is going to come over and talk to the Del City coach. About what, we're not quite sure. Looks like they got everything ironed out here pretty quickly, and we'll get back to the play. Well, as Dylan has mentioned, Deshaun Moore has been thrust in the position as the Wildcat. I mean, do you call it the Wildcat quarterback? He's certainly been able to get the job done to this point. 2 carries, 2 big gains, first down. Now inside the 20-yard line.
And you got to wonder if now maybe Del City's predicting run. Do you pop it outside to a wide receiver, see if you can get a gain here from one of them?
Moore keeps it. Here comes the blitz from the far side, taken right down. So number 8 sliding up there, Jamari Ayers for Del City, stopping him in his tracks, no gain.
They got a couple of monsters at linebacker there for Del City, both number 8 and number 9, Jamari Ayers and Javon West. Those 2 guys have come up with some big plays tonight, some big hits. They do a great job holding down that linebacking core for the Eagles.
Moore again, keeps it, goes right side and gets back to the line of scrimmage, breaks a tackle, and he's going to get maybe a yard, and that'll bring up 3rd down and long.
And you got to wonder now, maybe do you bring in Williams and maybe now you throw the football? You got a 3rd and long. I mean, I know I'd bring the quarterback back in. There he is.
Yep. So let's see now with the clock running, 3.5 minutes left. You almost are getting to the point where Choctaw needs to finish off this drive. They need to come away with some points. Any type of scoring will obviously be to their benefit. Get the snap back. Williams going to throw over the middle. And a flag is thrown. It's going to be pass interference against Del City. He was trying to hook up there with Gabe Johnson.
Well, I think right here this is going to be what decides the game is these next few plays, because if Choctaw can find a way to get into the end zone, obviously that puts them in a great position to maybe even tie it up and send it into overtime, or tie it up and make Del City only have a short window to score with. But if they're unable to score, I think Del City can just run the clock out, and barring any wild snaps, which will probably be tough for them to do, but barring any wild snaps, they can end up walking away with a win, with the score being 22-14.
That was a 3rd and 9 play, so with the interference call, that gives them a first down, and now it's 1st and goal just inside the 10-yard line. Williams at quarterback. Look from behind the Choctaw offense is Williams. On the give, straight ahead, inside the 5-yard line. The pile still moving forward, still going forward. And all the way down to about the 2 or 3 yard line.
Well, and I got to hand it to the ref crew right there, not calling it dead, not blowing the whistle, and making them stop, because that could have cost Choctaw an extra 2 or 3 yards there.
So they're going to spot it just outside the 2-yard line. Hurry up offense. Williams takes the snap, handoff, touchdown, Yellow Jackets, and they're just a 2-point conversion away from tying this ball game.
I told you that fumble recovery is what Choctaw needed, just the right field position. They get some momentum going. They're hyped up, and then they come out onto the field and take that one to the house. Another good run here for Choctaw, which is a little odd because we've seen a lot of air from them. We've seen a lot of passing. And now in this second half, we've seen a little bit more running. We saw him run the Wildcat on this possession. And there you see, able to punch it in, number 4, Corey Williams.
So Williams scores from 4 yards out. And as easy as they got that play into the end zone, I wouldn't be surprised if they ran almost something identical to that. And a timeout is called. 22-20, an important 2-point conversion coming up for the Yellow Jackets when we return on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Well, it's getting late. 2-point conversion attempt coming up for the Yellow Jackets. If they're able to convert that, that would make it a tie football game. So what do you call their offensive coordinator, Dylan Rivera?
Well, you mentioned it right before we took the little break there. I think maybe you run something very similar to what you ran just a second ago, because you ran it twice in a row, both times able to plow forward for at least 4 or 5 yards. And that second one was able to find the end zone. Run something similar, you know, hand it off to your running back, let him follow his lead blockers, maybe a fullback, and give him a chance to see if he can find that pay dirt for 2 points.
Coleman is the tight end on the right side, Moore in the backfield. It's a handoff, he's hit and taken down. Del City was looking for something like that, and they get the stop on the 2-point conversion, and they keep the lead at 22-20. With just under 3 minutes left to go. That was a big play defensively.
Yeah, clutch stop for Del City's defense. You see right here almost the exact same play like I mentioned, but I think Del City was prepared for it this time. And we mentioned their names earlier on, those linebackers, and that one was Javon West making the stop here late in the game. And I think that could be the deciding factor in the game. To me, Del City just runs the football, lets that clock go. They'll probably walk away with a win here.
Well, probably not too early or too late to onside kick here.
Absolutely, that's what I was thinking. You bring the hands team out here just in case. And I think for Choctaw, you've got to. If you don't take this onside kick, you're waving the white flag pretty much with 3 minutes left.
So Del City gets the stop on the all-important 2-point conversion.
You're either waving the white flag or you're really putting a lot of faith into your defense, which we've seen them make a couple of stops here in the second half, able to slow Del City down at least. But I still don't know if I would have enough faith to say they're going to completely shut down Del City to the point where they're going to have enough time to put some more points in.
The quarterback is just slippery enough where, you know, he can take what looks to be a great stand defensively and, you know, make a tackler miss or two, and next thing you know, he's got the first down, and a 10-yard gain turns into a 30-yard gain. Yeah, the coaches have been with these guys all through spring football, summer preparation, working on things just like this. Here comes the onside kick attempt. It's a good one, but fielded, got the bounce that they were looking for. Del City fortunate in that regard, and coming up with the football. Was that Jack Foreman?
Yes.
Number 15 comes away with the football. So Del City will get it with right about 3 minutes left to go in the game now, as we're not sitting on a possible tying score situation, unless there were some bizarre safety for Choctaw, which you would not expect to happen, even though we have seen a safety in this game.
Was it just me, or did it seem like both teams were a little reluctant to get to the ball there? That's the second time we've seen that, where it seems like on a kickoff, players are almost like holding back. It doesn't seem like they're going full speed at it. which is kind of odd, especially with only 3 minutes left. You'd think they'd really be going 110%.
Running play up the middle, 2 hands around the football, making sure that he doesn't lose it. 4-yard gain of the first down carry. And at what point in time does Choctaw decide that it's time to use their timeouts? Line of scrimmage is at the Yellow Jackets' 48-yard line. Jack Foreman goes wide left, top of your screen. Leisinger is in the slot. Down here at the bottom, number 7 is Kobe Higgins. That's 4 good receivers. You'd be hard-pressed to find 4, caliber receivers like that on most teams.
Absolutely, yeah. In high school football here in Oklahoma, I don't think there's many teams that can match how much talent Del City has in their wideouts. I think with all 4 of them, their combined talent is off the charts.
Well, and the athleticism, the length, the speed that those guys all have.
Absolutely.
Talking to Coach Dunn, a couple basketball players among that group as well. 2nd down and 6, call it. Taking their time. Handoff up the middle. L.J. Brown. And he'll get it to about the 45-yard line. Clock continues to run. It's been a good football game, just whatever the outcome turns out to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It was at least a good one to watch, fun one to watch. Saw it go very back and forth. It kind of seemed like both teams had positives, both teams had negatives. I mean, it was a good all-around game for both teams. Looks like right now, it looks like Del City's going to have just a hair of an advantage over the Yellow Jackets.
Running play, L.J. Brown. A flag comes in late. That's going to, and here come all the flags from everybody. I think some of the guys in the fans were throwing flags out there. Got a feeling that's going to be against Choctaw at the end of the play. He was close enough to first down yardage, it appeared to begin with. Let's wait and see what the call is here. Now the clock stopped with approximately a minute and a half left to go in the ball game.
Well, and there's that incidental helmet coming off, and then there's the pushing of the helmet off, I believe. A little bit too much of hands up in the face by the Choctaw defense there.
Everybody gathers in the laundry. And waiting for the call from our referee, as it looks as though Choctaw, a lot of their players, palms skyward pleading. And the call is personal foul called against Del City, face mask. And that's an automatic first down, and that is really. Then you also have a penalty against Del City. Can't obviously hear what he is saying as far as the explanation is concerned. It looks like what he did say that's important, though, Dylan, is it's still 3rd down.
Yeah, I saw the 3. I could tell that. Looks like it'll be a fairly short 3rd down at least, so just a good maybe 4 or 5 yard run. Keep this drive alive and keep Choctaw from getting the football here late in the game.
We'll call it 3rd and 4. Although the guy with the flag on the far side just disappeared kind of into the crowd over there. Keep an eye on the quarterback. They've had issues with the snap from center tonight on several different occasions. Don't want to have that happen now. Low snap, keeps it, runs it, right side, lunges forward. He's not going to get enough for the first down.
No, maybe only about 1.5 yards, 2 yards gain there. He's going to come up shy, but now do you run the ball again? Do you let the clock run out, take maybe a delay of game, and then punt the football? What are you doing here, Steve?
It looks as though they're going to let the clock run down to the point that they're going to take the penalty and then punt it away. Obviously, Choctaw must be out of their timeouts. And we'll take one as well as we wind this one down. 22-20, Del City on top of Choctaw late in the ball game. We'll be back.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand.
We're gonna kayak, mountain bike, rock climb, zip line.
First, let's get out of the city.
Yeah. Oh, then hang gliding.
Oh, you're on your own.
Keep your adventure on track with Ford, the brand with the most J.D. Power initial quality awards. Now during Ford SUV season, get 0% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Welcome back to Del City. 52 seconds remaining. Choctaw obviously out of timeouts. And Del City now having to make the call. 4th down. And what is it, about 3-4 yards to go for a first down. They can try to go for it. Probably not what they're going to do. But you always have the danger on the snap of skipping it short or snapping it over the punter's head. Either case, dangerous situation. Everybody holds their breath on both sides. Players, coaches, fans alike.
Well, we saw one really good punt from Del City's punter, and which is ironic. Their punter is Jeff Foreman, the same wide receiver that we've been talking about all game long. But if we can get him, to have another good punt like that, if he can get one that pins them deep, I think that is going to be just about the best option you can go with, because we've seen that when Del City pins Choctaw deep, Choctaw can't get out of it. It's been twice, I believe, that they pinned him down there, and both times really just struggled to get past even the 5-yard line. And so if I'm Del City, definitely going for that punt, trying to pin them as deep as I can, just to play it safe and say, you know what, we'll trust our defense.
All right, so 55 seconds is now the actual time on the clock. Punting situation. Jacoby Smith is the up man. Not that I expect him to take a short snap or anything. You just like to make sure there's somebody else back there in case there is trouble with the snap. Jeff Foreman is the punter. And it looks like they let them get set up. Choctaw, and then Del City said, okay, we see how they're going to set up on the return. Let's talk about it again, and we'll take another timeout. We'll come back, presumably, to finish this ball game off one way or the other. Stay with us.
You may have heard of Tulsa Tech, but did you know we offer business and industry training for large and small companies? Come get trained and certified in areas like confined space, HAZWOPER, crane rigging, CPR, first responder, and more. To learn more about our affordable and customized training and how Tulsa Tech can be a valuable resource to your company, call 918-828-5000 or visit us online at tulsatech.edu.
Welcome back, everybody. There's the scene. There's the score. 55 seconds remaining. 4th down situation. 4th and 4 for Del City. Punting. Well, maybe not so much punting, but the snapping of the ball back to the punter has been an issue for both teams tonight. Good snap here. Foreman going to keep it, going to run it, trying to get the first down, and he's got it.
Ooh, I don't know.
Oh, I think he did.
No, they're calling him short. I don't think he did. I think if he had maybe dove for it and stretched that arm out, he might have gotten there, but I think otherwise,
okay,
he was short. Let's see if we can watch.
Yeah, they're going to spot it. Well, he's short. Absolutely. A full yard short. Yeah, look at the replay there. He had to get to the 42-yard line, and they spotted him down at the 43.
Yeah. I'm saying, yeah, 43. That's where I think he got out.
So Choctaw will have a chance. So you have to wonder about Foreman. He believes in himself, obviously. And the Yellow Jackets, it's not like it's only one shot. With 49 seconds left, they probably have a good 2 or 3 opportunities here, as long as they don't turn it over.
Well, and I would say you just want to maybe get into field goal range, but we saw earlier on the PAT attempt, which, I mean, that's only, maybe a 15-yard kick. He barely got that over the crossbar.
Williams down the far side, pass too tall, incomplete, trying to hook up with Zane Coleman out there. That would be the go-to man.
Yeah, Zane Coleman's been very quiet tonight. He's headed to Arizona State, actually, to go wrestle. But here tonight, can't seem to get going on the football field.
So 2nd down now. Obviously, that did not take much time off the clock. Williams here throws. Far side, that's caught by Coleman. That's going to be a gain of about 8.5 yards. They're inside Del City territory. He did get out of bounds, so the clock should not be running.
Yeah, Jake Corbin is livid up there on that sideline, screaming for the clock.
So Williams now back to pass. Here comes the blitz. He's in trouble. He's just going to throw this one away. Now we'll try to get a better idea of exactly how much time is left on the clock. There is a flag on the play.
Roughing the passer.
No, they're going to say it's intentional grounding, it looks like. Oh, wait, they're going the other way.
Interesting. What is going on?
Yeah, Choctaw was headed downfield. The referee's calling him back because he gave the signal of...
See, I thought I saw the roughing the passer one. I only saw one hand. You saw the two hands.
Yes.
Good eyes.
So that marks them back. That'll bring up a 3rd down. 4th down now, if they change. Sorry, it is 3rd down. So 2 more opportunities, 2 chances still for Choctaw, and we got a timeout. This is going to be the game. We're going to keep it here. They did change it again. It is 4th down, so 1 final attempt.
Well, not only is it a long way to the end zone, it's a long way to the 1st down marker. So even if you want to maybe say, okay, let's get, a second opportunity here. Let's just try to get to the 1st down marker. You've still probably got a good 20, 25 yards to go before you even reach the 1st down marker.
Well, my guess is we're going to see another penalty before this game's over.
That's a fair statement. I bet you the Vegas betting odds are high on that one.
4th and 22 is the call. Yellow Jackets coming back out. I mean, right now you can't worry about scoring. You got to get the 1st down unless you're just going to get both at the same time. Trips to the far side, top of your screen. Williams dropping to throw. Here comes the blitz. Steps up in the pocket. Hit as he delivers, and it's intercepted and then dropped. But it shouldn't matter as long as there's no flags on the play. And I'm checking on that. And that looks like it's going to turn the ball over to Del City. And all they have to do is get into victory formation and kneel it down.
Yeah, that'll wrap this game up. Great pressure by the Del City defense. Had a defensive lineman who was almost just kind of patiently waiting until Williams stepped up in the pocket. And when he did, he was maybe just a yard away from him, so pushed forward through the offensive lineman. I kind of got a second push at him and then backed up his offensive lineman into his quarterback. Gets a hit, makes it a tough throw, off target, near interception. I mean, they had all the goodies on that one for Del City's defense, and now it's just a easy kneel for Del City's offense.
Eagles gather around in that victory formation, very protective of their quarterback, Jacoby Smith. He takes the snap, kneels it down, and that should do it. A big, big victory for the Del City Eagles as they hold serve on their home court and win it by a final score of 22-20. Choctaw, nothing to hang their head about. They went on the road and gave it all they got and took it down to the very final play of the football game. We'll come back with a wrap-up for you. Stay with us on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
Look, if you're not the lead dog, the scenery never changes. That's why this is the view for every other full-size pickup. And this year, it's deja vu all over again. Because only the Ford F-150 gives you best-in-class torque, best-in-class payload, and you got it, baby, best-in-class towing. This is the big dog. This is the Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
Now get 0% financing for 72 months on a new 2018 F-150 at your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
WEOKIE's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a WEOKIE 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at WEOKIE and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact WEOKIE for details.
Well, we had a good one here tonight. The Del City Eagles coming over to honor their fans for riding out the weather for one, and the Choctaw Yellow Jackets as they get the victory tonight, 22-20, our final score. It was 14-7 Del City at the halftime, and from there we pick up the highlights as first you're going to see a big run here coming up for Del City. Neither team got much going offensively in that second half, Dylan, but here's a big run for Del City.
Well, I kept talking about at halftime. I wanted to see them get some more yardage on the ground, and there you see the quarterback taking it himself, Jacoby Smith, takes it probably 20 yards, a good run from him, and he did a great a pass fake with the ball.
And then, of course, that run would help lead to a touchdown here for Del City as the Eagles burst through the line of scrimmage and into the end zone for the score.
Yeah, and it just blows right through Choctaw's defense. A couple of tacklers able to get their hands on him, but nobody actually able to bring him down. A great run by L.J. Brown. I think he might have heard us at halftime telling him to run the ball more.
Didn't know it was important at the time, but this would prove to be the difference in the score, the two-point conversion that they were able to get as they throw it to, I believe it was Foreman in the corner to get the two-point conversion and extend their lead. However, the game was not over. Choctaw was not going to give up so easily. Big pass play here.
Yeah, right there. The safety makes the wrong read, goes down on the curl route from one of the other receivers at number 5. That is Caden Young, was able to sneak behind him there and end up getting a huge gain out of it.
And then Choctaw was able to take that pass play and convert that into a touchdown, and we had ourselves a ball game.
Yeah, this was a great play by Choctaw. Well drawn up, send him in motion, and just hit him outside for that easy, quick screen pass. Find some points on the board.
We had issues with the snaps all night long on the kicks. That would continue in the ball game here. This time it wasn't on the punt per se. It was just a straight snap back to the quarterback, and but gets away from him. Choctaw's able to recover, and they turn that into 6 points.
Yeah, that was a big swing of momentum, you could say, for Choctaw. Right after that, they go down and score, and here's the play where they did it, handing it off to the running back, number 4. That's Corey Williams, and he'll punch that one into the end zone. A great job by Choctaw to make something out of the turnover.
And then they needed to get the two-point conversion to tie the football game. I thought they might run something similar or the same play. They sort of did, but Del City would have none of it.
Yeah, Del City snuffed it out. We talked about the linebackers on that possession, talked about Del City's Jamari Ayers and Javon West, maybe just 2 plays before that, and both of them were the first 2 at the running back, and Javon West was able to make the hit and bring him down, keep him from outside the end zone.
And then it came down to 4th down, final play of the contest for Choctaw, for Del City here, as they were able to get the stop. This was actually a stop by Choctaw as they stopped Foreman short. That gave them the ball back, but they were not able to make anything of it, and that took us to the final score as Choctaw had the ball at the end of the game, unable to convert, and Del City holds on for a thrilling victory. Good ball game here tonight. Hope you enjoyed it on Your View, your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. Del City 22 and Choctaw 20. For Dylan Rivera, for Mark Jeffries, for the whole crew, thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Steve Marshall. Next week, don't forget, next Friday, it'll be Union at Mustang right here on Your View. See you then.